Leaves it for Johnson. A mile out. Survey 3. A logo 3 from the NCAA logo.
On Sports 1440.
Utah has 2 shots on goal. Both have beaten Hayden Hill. Here's a third shot. Another goal. Jack McBain off a gorgeous feed. 3 shots for Utah and 3 goals. And Hayden Hill looks towards the bench.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Take it down. To check the clock. Dribbles. Fades. And then the Spurs to the pass with 1.1 second remaining. No crazy fouls here. Making Self take a desperation shot right foul. Booker and then Cole for the game. And no. It's a fiesta once again.
Positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you're at. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Something tells me there might be a little bit of frustration in Oilers Nation to discuss today on the show. The show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, and I can tell you right now what could lower your frustration. $50 million up for grabs tonight, and 2 Max Millions at PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets for Lotto Max. Good luck. We have a loaded show for you today. We are going to be talking some NHL. Of course, the Lightning are in town tomorrow. The red hot Nikita Kucherov. This guy's on fire right now. So it'll be a tough test for the Oilers. Ansar Khan will be by. The Red Wings, some big wins last night out in the East. The Pacific, some big losses. We'll discuss that. Button will be by. Speck, Low Tide, Lorian Munzer. We got Livingston, a little racing, F1 and more. Also, we'll take your thoughts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Also, good luck to the teams in the AJHL as the playoffs begin there, and also in the jungle, Sherwood Park and Morinville into the final. So good luck for the fellas. I think they're in Sherwood Park tonight and Morinville tomorrow. So good luck in that final series between those two teams. It's always fun, man. The jungle, it's great hockey. It's good times. And I always have lots of fun with your teammates. At least you should be. Anyway, last night, I don't think it was a lot of fun for the Oilers. And I know because I was there listening to the, in the Q&A with Chris Knobloch, and Coach said he didn't think their effort was bad. And in one sense, he's correct. I'll get to where it's wrong, and I think that's the bigger issue here at play. Florida didn't dominate the Oilers in a lot of regards. Like, you go back and look at the game. So it's 0-0. Edmonton's pretty much had the play for the first 8 minutes. McDavid taps the puck, doesn't look, and he did that 3 different times, actually. Once he thought the ref was his teammate. Anyway, so he taps into the slot. It's intercepted by Mike Benning. He makes a great outlet pass, breakaway, pretty nice goal by Cole Reinhardt. And it's 1-0. Edmonton beat all over him. That's not a coaching error. Don't tell me it's the Oilers' coaching system defensively that hurt them on that goal. Then you look at the third goal on the power play. Just pops out off a skate, comes to the guy in front, taps it home. Not much you can do on that one, right? Anton Lundell. I don't say that's a defensive coaching issue. The second goal, AJ Greer, final minute of the period, he does win a battle. Eventually, the puck comes back to the point. The problem there was AJ Greer's in the corner with 2 Oilers defensemen. They come to the front of the net, and no one covers AJ Greer off to the side. And all he does is deflect home the shot. Benning, the local kid, what a great story for him. Gets his second assist of the period. And they lead 2-0. And the Oilers, did they have some chances around the net? Yeah, they chose not to shoot. They try to deke the puck into the net multiple times. But that's not what bothers me about last night. Here is my issue, and I talked about it yesterday. At some point for the organization, you have to stand up to a team. Like, at what point is what Matthew Tkachuk has done not worthy of someone saying, I'm getting my pound of flesh? Don't tell me, well, we were worried about the 2 points. Did you get the 2 points? Yes or no? Pretty sure we all know the answer. And guess what? Tkachuk, no one even breathed on him. So the opposing coach, let's look at this, how the game starts. Florida's beat you twice in the Cup final. Tkachuk didn't play when they first played this year in Florida. Wasn't in the lineup. He's spouted off to your team. He's insulted you, one of your best players. Heck, remember Brad Marchand wearing the Oilers suck little pin? Like, how much can you take as an organization? You just take it, oh, well, we're going to get the 2 points in the standings. Seriously? That's your only pushback? So tell me, and this is where I disagreed with Knobloch's decision as a coach. Now, the coach can never, he's coaching today, you don't tell guys to fight. That's never what's going to happen. But why isn't the coach before the game? Guys, this is, and you can show it. Everybody's seen the picture. Put it up in the room. They got a massive big screen TV. Remind your players how much this organization has disrespected you. Not only did they break your heart twice, but they've disrespected you. Chanting, captain's name sucks, all that stuff. You got the pin, right? You got Tkachuk. You got lots of reasons to say, we need to win the game, but we need to push back. And then as a coach, you know what I do? Starting lineup, Vasily Podkolzin, left wing, Trent Frederick, center, Max Jones, right wing, Connor Murphy, Darnell Nurse. I'm dressing my 5 toughest guys because you know what? I knew that they were starting Bennett and Tkachuk. Why the hell are you starting McDavid? Why? He starts almost every game. Why does he have to start that game? Because did anybody notice who the second line out was? Frederick's line and Jones. Why couldn't you start him? There's your opportunity right there. Right? Podkolzin, somebody chirp at him. Wait, why not stand back, do the glove shake? Everybody knows he's not going to fight, but at least you're like, hey, I'm making it clear we're trying. Get in their face. Because look what happened at the start of the third period. Who started the third period? You're down 3-0. Oh, let's start Max Jones. He comes barreling in there. Max Jones, who's a guy who's playing for I want to get back to the NHL as a regular. He hammers Ekblad behind the net. They get it out in front. Dickinson has a great chance. 10 freaking seconds into the third period. But guess what? The game's already over because you're down 3-0. But it's okay to start the guys who are aggressive and are going to play some energy to start in the third period. But God forbid if we ever actually tried to start a game with some damn emotion. That's their problem. Okay? The coach can't force guys to play aggressive, but you can be smart and put the aggressive guys on the ice. You don't think they would have known what the message is? Trent Frederick can play center for one goddamn shift. He's done it before. At times as a coach, and I've seen other coaches do it, you have to find a way to motivate your team. It can't always be, oh, McDavid's got to start. Oh, Draisaitl's got to start. Why? You can't win a game if they don't start the game? Give me a break. So I disagree. That to me just set the tone for the whole game. It set the tone. And look at it. So Max Jones had 8 hits in the game. The rest of the forwards had 10. And Trent Frederick, he left the game, didn't play the third period, and he had the second most. Right? On defense, Bouchard, good for Bouchard. He shouldn't be your most physical defenseman. But the Florida Panthers, the Oilers are dumping and chasing. They're not a dump and chase team. Why are you dumping and chase all the time against Florida? And if you're going to dump and chase, then hit the damn guys. How can you dump and chase as much as the Oilers did and finish outside of Max Jones and it's actually wrong, it was 11 hits for the other 11 forwards. They had 11 hits. Why are you dumping and chasing if you're not going to finish your check? What's the point? Is it just a giveaway? Right? Coach can't force you to hit. Hit someone. At what point do you get tired of the other team embarrassing you? It's over the course of 2 years. The Panthers, hey, you know what? They're our biggest rival. But is it really a rivalry, as Drew Doughty said? Is it a rivalry if one team only ever wins? He didn't think it was a rivalry, the Kings and the Oilers, because the Kings never win. And the Oilers, I know they beat Florida earlier this year. Well, they didn't have Kachuk. They didn't have Barkov. Does it count? Hell, you couldn't even beat them without Reinhart or without Marchand or without Barkov. And you didn't even push back. That's what I didn't like. Effort-wise, yeah, the Oilers were around the puck. Now, they never created lots of great chances, or they just refused to shoot when they had a good chance. That's not coaching. No coach in the world. Anybody out there, if you want to blame the coach last night, you're giving way too many free passes to the players who are on the damn ice. Your job's to shoot the puck. Your job's to be physical. You mouth off to the other team. The coach isn't the one who can fight your mental battles. It's you. They're not embarrassing the coach. They're not calling out his name. They're calling out your name. Mocking your best players. At what point is enough enough? It's 3-0. You can't at that point say, you know what, guys? Let's go out there and get our pound of flesh. Nope. Didn't happen. And that's the problem. Okay, not to mention that the Edmonton Oilers' inability this season, and this has been a season-long problem, to play 3 consecutive good games. They've won 3 games in a row one time. They are 1-9-2 in games after a 2-game winning streak. 1-9-2. And you've been outscored 47-26. The one win you had was by 1 goal. Great. Scored 4 goals. So in the other 11, you scored 22 goals. 2 goals a game. You think you're going to score a lot? Think you're going to win a lot of games scoring 2 goals? No. So this has happened in October. It's happened in November. It's happened in December. It's happened in January, February, and now March. You get a 2-game winning streak, and they did it just last week. Played very well in Vegas. Played very well in Colorado. Dallas, soil the sheets. Now, you come this week, exact same thing. And sure, they came out, and they were okay. And is it a little bit unlucky? You have a turnover in the offensive zone. Quick pass, they're gone. It's not really a systemic issue. It's not coaching. But the coaching fail was the starting lineup. The coaching fail wasn't saying, hey, we can play to win. But why can't you do 2 things at once? At some point, don't you have to defend your honor as an organization against somebody who's just basically embarrassed you numerous times? On the ice, off the ice, in the media, everywhere. When's enough enough? Well, we got to get the 2 points. Okay, how did that strategy work for you? Did you get the 2 points? Don't think so. Didn't score a goal. Nothing happened. Like outside of, Max Jones, who else was really emotionally engaged in that game? See any scrums? Did you see guys look like they were mad? I hate this team. Was there any disdain shown in last night's game by the Oilers? And my question is, why not? Like, at what point can you not push back? Now, I know that Florida can't ruin their playoff dream this year because they're not going to make the playoffs. And some will say, you got to look forward. And that's true to a point. But looking forward is saying, we're going to do something different. And enough's enough. And in a game in March against a non-conference opponent, and you come out, and it's not like they sleptwalked in the game. They had chances. They were around the net, sure. I actually don't disagree with the coach's assertion that their effort was there. Their effort was there, but it wasn't a hard effort. To me, it was a soft effort in the fact that, yeah, we're going to skate fast. We're going to try hard, but we didn't get out of our comfort zone. We didn't put the Panthers in their discomfort zone ever in that game. And that's happened far too often. Combine that with the inability to win 3 games in a row. Like the only saving grace for the Oilers is everybody else in the Pacific lost. And most of them got shut out, funny enough. Vegas, first time in franchise history, they've been shut out in back-to-back home games. So they're reeling. Seattle started their 6-game road trip with a loss in Nashville, and now the Preds are right there. The LA Kings did get a point, but and actually scored a goal, so that's a benefit. But they lost in a shootout, right? The Sharks got shut out. But to me, it's about the Oilers and their disconnect with playing with emotion. At some point, there's got to be some pride. And to suggest that it's just another game, honestly, if that's, and guess what? They showed it was just another game because they didn't care enough. Effort is one thing. Caring is different. And sometimes when you care, you get emotional. And you get outside your comfort zone. And you get in a scrum. And you take a hit. And you do lots of different things. And they did none of it. They did none of it last night. And are they capable of doing it? I think so, but not against the Panthers. And that's the one team. Like the team that has bullied you. Because make no mistake, the Panthers have bullied them in different areas. Right? I got this one. Hey, Gregor, it's a coach's game plan. I don't know. Why? The coach can't play the game. Do you think the coach's game plan is, okay, guys, no one showed too much emotion tonight? Do you honestly believe that's what the coach said? Honestly, Jared, you believe that's what he said? I don't want to. Guys, let's keep our emotions in check tonight. Why would he have to say that? Have the Oilers ever had their emotions out of check against Florida? Why would he have to say, let's keep our emotions in check? He wouldn't have to, right? His game plan is Connor and Leon will do it. Well, Leon wasn't even dressed. So you can't even mention that either. And that's such a lazy argument. It's just Connor and Leon. No, it isn't. It's the whole team. Every coach who's ever played is going to play McDavid. I have no problem playing McDavid 22 minutes. I have zero issue with it. And I don't expect Connor McDavid to be the guy. And by the way, McDavid only played 21 minutes last night. I don't need McDavid to be my emotional, physical leader. Sure as hell not against Florida. So I strongly disagreed with the starting lineup. I saw no reason to do it. Right? None. And on the other hand, why'd you even change the lines at that point? Like, you had a good game with the Lions. Keep them together because guess what you went back to? And then guess what you had in practice today? Hyman, Bathman, McDavid. Because it works. Hyman's got the most goals in the NHL over the last 40-some games. Of course you keep him with McDavid because it works. Great. But Hyman, there's lots of emotional players on the team. None of them raised their emotional bar. They worked hard, sure. But I don't believe they were emotionally engaged in that game. There was very little fire at all. And that, to me, is a problem with the team. And that comes from the players. I talked to lots of former players today. Talked to Mike Rupp, actually, on our rundown. And Rupper afterwards, we were talking, and he was just fired. He couldn't believe it. He goes, I can't believe that no one, as a player, does anything. He goes, coaches can't tell you to, when to fight. Like now, you get a lawsuit. Hey, I want you to fight that guy. Coach isn't going to work like that. But the players, you've got to have the pride internally to say enough's enough. Right? Look when the Oilers take an aggressive penalty. Does the coach tell the guy to take the aggressive penalty, or is he just choosing on his own to take the aggressive penalty? Yeah, he does. And usually they kill it off because the teammates are like, yeah, you know what? We got that guy's back. So the coach almost becomes irrelevant in that conversation. Right? Now, the coach's error for me was the starting lineup. I didn't like it because that sets a tone. And I have no idea if he would have showed the picture of Brad Marchand or Tkachuk, but why not? You got to find different ways to motivate your team. I would have done it. Or hell, Darnell Nurse. Somebody stand up in the dressing room and say enough's enough because nothing on the ice from the players suggested they were there to do anything other than try hard. I don't have a problem with their effort. I have a real problem with their gamesmanship or lack thereof. Their lack of physical interest outside of Max Jones. He's the one I can't complain about him. Guy played 11 minutes and he had 8 hits. He was all around he was battling all the time. Nothing wrong with his game. Nothing. Right? And this is a guy who's, hey, Max Jones, He's been fighting to get back to the NHL, and he's playing like it. Awesome. Now it's got to, hopefully it keeps up. But you got to have guys in your top 2 lines, guys in your top 4 defense. No, I didn't know if anybody even blew on Matthew Tkachuk. Did they even skate by and say anything to him? So, to me, that's disappointing. Cons, what's your thought?
I mean, I think you did a pretty good job there of kind of giving the rundown. Like you said, I mean, it's Big Brother. He was our little brother to the Florida Panthers. They go out there and they kind of run their show. And, you can talk about, well, we've beat them in some games. I know that was brought up post-game. Well, you don't really do it when it matters. And this game, under the circumstances, was far more important the game that you beat them in Florida. And, who was the spark in that game? Connor Clattenburg, right? Like, he was out there throwing the weight around. There's the blueprint. Send it out there. Play with a little bit more physicality. Do those sorts of things. And, the scary thing for me, Gregor, is as good as a good Florida team is when they're healthy and motivated, you got the Tampa Bay Lightning coming in tomorrow night. Best team in the NHL, some might say. They've been extremely hot since that slow start. And Nikita Kucherov right now probably is the best player in the NHL. Like, if you're not getting up for the Florida Panthers, a team that has twice ended your hopes and dreams, what are you going to do on Saturday night? I don't know what it is. And I have said for a long time, I'm not on the side of that the coach has to give a rah-rah speech. I'm with you. For those sorts of things, that's in the room. Those are grown men. These guys are 25 to 35 years old. Figure it out. You don't have Evander Kane to, cheap shot someone to get you in the battle. You don't have Corey Perry anymore. He's going to be going against you. Someone else has to do it. And I'm not sure what it is, but it was just a very uninspiring effort. And then when they had opportunities, like, you shoot the puck. You're not going to pass it in. You're not going to walk it in. Put pucks on net and get an ugly goal here or there. Was it the first 2 power plays? They had 1 shot. It's wild. Just because Leon's not there, someone else can still shoot the puck. So, yeah, a frustrating game for sure. And they're just damn lucky they're in the Pacific Division, who went 0-6 last night, was outscored 26-6. If they were in any other division, I feel like this would be long over.
Yeah, well, yeah, but, it's a bigger conversation for sure. I just look at the orders, and if there's not, to me, it's an organizational thing. You've got to play with a little bit more passion. Work ethic is one thing. I don't really question 99% of the time, but you can play with passion that works different than just working hard. So we'll get to all that. We got a lot of text to get to. Greg Linnelli will join us. And man, tomorrow night, you've got the Battle of the Art Ross. And right now, mama, is Nikita Kucherov on a heater. Like, heater of heaters for this guy. He has been absolutely killing it for the Tampa Bay Lightning. In his, what has he got? 95 points in his last 45 games. Like, ridiculous. So, Oilers are going to have to try to slow him down. Tampa's a team, they play with fire. They'll push back all the time. At some point, the Oilers maybe need to push back a little bit. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails.
Cheers.
Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth Double E football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.227. Welcome back. Positive Friday. Hey, I love it. People are fired up. We're going to get to lots of texts coming up in the next few segments here on the show. Of course, Oilers practice today. Ty Emberson could be in the lineup tomorrow night for the Edmonton Oilers. Trent Frederick, he wasn't on the ice today. And so that would look like Yaraventia could make his Oilers debut tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Light. And speaking of Tampa Bay, let's get to our oil report brought to you by Go Auto. You need some time to cool down. You're a little frustrated from the game. Maybe, just a little bit of window shopping for some vehicles. Well, go online, goauto.ca. They got 15,000 to choose from at 71 different locations. The car that you want is very close to you. Check it out, goauto.ca. As Greg Linnelli joins us, a host of the Lightning on game day. And Greg, the Lightning come in. They're obviously playing very well the last few games. And Nikita Kucherov for the last 45 games has been on an absolute heater, averaging over 2 points a game. He's got 95 points in his last 45 games, which is pretty ridiculous when you look at the numbers. And he's off to a slow start, but he is heating up and almost single-handedly carrying the Lightning offensively.
Yeah, he's been tremendous, and thanks for having me on again. It's always great to talk hockey with you guys. And boy, what more can you say about Kucherov? I've made the comparison. He can roll out of bed and get 2 points. I think that's kind of where he is right now. And generational talent, Hall of Famer, and what he's doing since December, I think it's 2 points per game. Pretty unbelievable when you factor in some of the company he's been in when you go back and look at some of those months and those days. But he's just an elite playmaker. If he wanted to, he probably could score 50 goals a year. I think he prefers to be the playmaker instead, but easily somebody you can put down 40 goals, 90 to 100 assists, and just, I think he's going to go down as probably the best Russian player of all time. And where that kind of factors into best of all time, it'll be fun to have those conversations. But a special player and somebody who makes the Lightning go in a lot of ways.
Well, and it's unique for a winger. He's clearly the best winger in the game. There's not even a discussion. Obviously, he's right up there with McKinnon and McDavid and Draisaitl. Injuries are the only thing that's maybe limited him a little bit if you look at over the numbers of it. But when he's healthy, man, he's great. And it's interesting, like he had a slow start kind of for the first 6 weeks of the season, but then since November 20th, he's gone crazy. The other guy, though, that, Kucherov, we've seen this from him before. He scored 140 points, like he's a really good player. But probably the biggest surprise and really most needed one because of all the injuries, Darren Radish, 60 points in 60 games for the Lightning on the back end. He's firing the most 90-mile-an-hour slap shots in the National Hockey League. He's playing big minutes, and the Lightning really needed him, especially with all the injuries they've had to their blue liners. Yeah, for sure. I think hit the nail on the head. He's always had offense. If you kind of take a look at his junior career and his AHL career, he was a point producer. Now, that doesn't always translate to the NHL. I think we all get that. But you mentioned the big shot, and he's playing, and he knows he's not coming out of the lineup. And so confidence now becomes something that you can lean into and become really productive. He's also in a contract year. Let's not minimize that, because I've covered too many sports and too many athletes where that has a impact. So I think factor that all in, and there's a reason why he's having the year he's having. So it's coming at a great time. He and JJ Moser have been their best defense pairing, which has been also a pretty cool development for them. But he's going to get himself a nice payday. I think the Lightning are hoping it's with them, and we'll see how it plays out. You look at the Lightning, and they had a little bit of a dip, and because of that, suddenly they find themselves in second place because the surging Buffalo Sabres, who are 9-1, like the Lightning have won their last 2, but they're 4-6 in their last 10 games. And, the Sabres made, like at a stretch, they made up 12 points in 10 games on the Lightning, which is wild to me. And now if Tampa wins both their games in hand, they would be tied. Although Buffalo would have the tiebreaker due to regulation wins. But, I know that Tampa and Florida, it's never been a major focus to finish first in that division. They've gone to 6 consecutive Stanley Cups between the two teams. But what kind of led to that little bit of a 10-game bump here for the Lightning? What got them off the road? I just think that break. They were 21-1 before the Winter Olympics, and there's that break, and you come back, and it's sometimes you just get out of sync. I don't want to try and overanalyze it too much, other than you take a look at some teams who have come out of the Olympic break. I think, Colorado's probably another good example. There are gifts in your play, and you have to find ways to kind of roll up the sleeves and get after it to fix it. And I think they've done that the last 2. They're not perfect by any stretch. I tend not to worry too much about where you finish in the regular season with this team and probably a few others out there. It's get in the playoffs and then things change. But I just think the break, they had to reset and try and get back to that level where they were before, which is extremely hard to do. They were in such a groove. A machine that, it was pretty incredible to watch. And then you take that break and you have to come back and try and find that again. So I think that's been overall, I think that was the biggest challenge. Overall, where are you at the health with this team? Yeah, the health obviously is a concern. I think they've done a great job of being able to overcome injuries throughout the season. There's no question. That's what's made this team so remarkable, is that, the Victor Hedmans, the Ryan McDonoughs, Braden Points, you mentioned the Kucherovs. There's been a lot of issues, and Victor Hedman had to leave the game. Yeah. The other night. So that's all an issue for sure. The thing with that, though, they have found depth. So as long as you've got Vasi, Kucherov, you mentioned a couple of other guys, the Radishes, the Mosers, the Braden Points, healthy at the right time, that's going to give you an opportunity to win, even though you've had some pretty significant injuries. And the depth has been something that's been pretty remarkable to watch. Now, they said the report was that Hedman left last night with an illness. So obviously you got to be pretty sick if you're leaving the game. But do you expect him to be back in by the game tomorrow night, or no? No clue. I'll be like you. I'll find out probably a little bit before the game if he's in or not. So if it is just he wasn't feeling great, that's good news from that perspective. It probably means it's not long term, but time will tell. We'll wait and see. Awesome, man. We appreciate the rundown, Greg, and look forward to seeing the Kucherov-McDavid battle tomorrow night as they are racing for the Art Ross.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Greg Linnelli from Tampa Bay. The Lightning are, it's funny. They're only 4-6 in their last 10 games. Up until that win, they'd been 3-7. They had a little bit of a funk coming out of the Olympic break, but obviously weren't going to go 21-1 the entire time. But that's allowed Buffalo. And think about that. Buffalo gained ground on Tampa, even with Tampa Bay going that stretch where they went 21-1. Like, that's how good Buffalo has been for over 3-month period. Have been very good. So lots of texts coming in. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, there's been a lot of turnover for the Oilers. Other than the core players, there's no reason for the Oilers to hate the Panthers from Coulter. Well, Coulter. So let's go. Who was on the Stanley Cup winning team last year? McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Trent Frederick, Adam Henrique, Darnell Nurse, Jake Wallman, Evan Bouchard, Matthias Ekholm, Ty Emberson. Like, what are we talking about? Because Matt Savoy wasn't there, or I forgot Podkolzin, he was there, and Kapanen, he was there. What do you mean? All those guys were there last year. What are you talking about? There's not enough turnover. That's the majority of the guys who play the most. So the only guys who haven't been there, Savoy, Dickinson, and Murphy, just got acquired. But it's even when you come to a new team, don't tell me that Dickinson and Murphy don't know the history here. It's not like they're like, hey, wait a sec. Florida beat you guys 2 years in a row in the Cup final? Oh, I didn't know that. I was playing in Chicago. Was unaware. When players talk about in football for the green and gold, the first time they have the Labor Day matchup, all the players like, oh my God, like this is a big deal. Like it's different. You just sense it around the team. I've talked to players for years about that. It's a rivalry. It's a big deal. Right? So just because Savoy, Dickinson, Roslovic weren't there and Connor Murphy, like, I'm sorry. Other guys can get up, and your core leaders, they're the ones that should do it anyway. So I don't buy that at all as a reason why they don't like the Panthers. I don't get it. Hey, Gregor, what's your thoughts on Nurse? He doesn't seem to be nearly as physical as he used to be. I don't think it appears. I think that's just fact. I don't have the answer to that question. There does seem to be that he has lost his nastiness. Like Darnell Nurse, you get a 1 or 2 game suspension every few years. Who cares? Right? Look at how many times Chris Pronger got suspended. Did everyone look and say, oh, geez, that's too bad. He got 1 game, 2 games. I think he might have got 4 games most at once. But when was the last time Nurse took an instigator penalty? Right? When was the last time Nurse just grabbed a guy and really ragdolled him, threw him around, didn't care? Honestly, I can't remember. So that's a valid point, right? Valid point. So hey, Gregor, Florida was the better team, hands down. Their goaltending superiors, and that's why we're going to lose McDavid in 2 years. Can you name the great save Bobrovsky had to make last night? Can you name one? Honestly, which one was these great saves that he had to make? Look at Ingram in the first 5 minutes of the third period. An unreal save in front of that. Then he had another breakaway save. What did Bobrovsky have to do? Did Bobrovsky make one, oh my God, unreal save last night? Am I missing it? I don't know. The Oilers had the puck around the net a few times. Didn't really result in a great chance. Did they have an odd man rush that resulted in a shot on goal? Because they had a few odd man rushes that didn't result in shots on goal. I don't think that goaltending was the big reason why Florida won last night. At all. Guys, they've taken on the personality of head coach. Bring in Torts for the rest of the year from HD. Yeah. Don't think so. The personality of a coach, that's always an interesting one. Because, when the Winnipeg Jets had Paul Maurice for years, were they a real fiery bully team? No, they weren't. Because they didn't have the players. I I don't know if I really buy you take on the personality of your coach. Now, your coach can, I think, maybe bring something of it out of you, right? If your coach has got a little bit of a fire to him, yeah, I think there's probably some truth to that. But if he's fiery and none of your team is fiery, you don't all of a sudden become fiery. But look at the organization. Look at who they acquire. They acquire Kachuk. They acquire Bennett. They acquire Greer. They acquire Marchand. Like, they acquire mouthy guys, aggressive guys. That's what they do. Right now, they still got Barkov's a really good player. Right? Seth Jones comes in, pretty good player. But look in Florida, even their goalie wants to fight. They have a real pack mentality of toughness and willing to fight. Heck, it stretches into the preseason, for God's sakes. They had brawls with Tampa in the preseason. I watched it. So that's an organizational. You have to have players who have a little bit of their DNA in it. Right? That's what you have to. Now, you can still have skill guys. Barkov's not fighting anyone. Nothing wrong with that. Right? Nothing wrong with it at all. Reinhart doesn't. But they play hard. They play smart, sure. I don't expect McDavid to ever fight. No reason. Draisaitl, no reason. They play hard enough. But you got other guys, and you can elevate that a little bit. And the Oilers, to me, last night was just a prime example of, I just think their work ethic was fine. I don't think they had a fiery work ethic. And I think there's a difference. And that's something that was lacking last night. Quick break. We'll return. We'll discuss about getting that mental side of getting an edge to your game next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Coming thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold to the vents, start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at usecarwash.com.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers' push to the playoffs is on, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday rolls along. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, $50 million up for grabs and 2 max millions. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The Oilers, they will have a chance to bounce back tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and who come in red hot. Nikita Kucherov absolutely killing it. The Lightning, they spank the Canucks on Thursday 6-2. They spank the Kraken 6-2 on Tuesday night. So, they'll be coming in here feeling pretty good about themselves. The Oilers need to be ready to play. Match the skill. And maybe, I don't know, maybe just try it. Have a little bit more will. Because the one thing about Tampa Bay, we've seen it. They'll brawl Florida. They'll brawl Buffalo. They're not afraid to play high energy hockey, both offensively and emotionally. Something the Oilers could learn from me. Let's, in my books anyway, let's get to In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. Project, service, testing, and residential. Those are their 4 divisions in the service. It's 24/7 emergency electrical service with certified uniformed technicians. If you need help, actionelectrical.net. Is Lori Ann Munzer, Olympic gold medalist, joins us. And Lori Ann, at times, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You need to, you can have a coach in any sport who a coach can tell you to do everything. It's ultimately up to the athlete to want to do it. And last night, the coach, Chris Novak, said, hey, you know what? We worked hard. I like my work ethic. I don't necessarily discount the work ethic, but I don't think they worked hard work ethic. It wasn't a hard game. They weren't aggressive. They weren't physical against a team that has really dummied them for a few years and mocked them publicly with pins and everything else. The lack of pushback really bothered me. How do you think a group can instill that in them?
A group instill it, meaning the Oilers bringing out that aggression and that physicalness?
Yes.
You know what? You just got to get mad. You got to get angry. You got to start bringing that level up. You got to get in the game, Jason. And it's just do whatever it is that you need. Everybody's a little bit different. And either you're going to get schooled or you're going to bring out your play, and it's going to be totally different from everybody. It's not going to be the same thing. And if you got to get mad, get mad.
And it's one though, like, because I look at Toronto, because people are like, oh, you take on the personality of your coach. I'm like, really? Craig Berube is one of the toughest guys ever played. He's fiery, he's physical. Toronto doesn't play that way. I don't believe you can take on the personality of your coach. Do you?
I think you can, but I also think you can't. The coach's job is really to direct. If the coach is telling you what to do, if they're not around, you're going to be in trouble because you won't know what to do. So the coach is there to direct, but you got to take the lead. You have to take the initiative. And sometimes a coach will fire you up exactly what you need. Sometimes they're calm when you need. Sometimes they just go, all right, you got to take over. You have to lead. Every athlete is self-led. The inspiration comes from within you, but sometimes you need that motivation from a teammate, from the fans, maybe from your favorite venue, that sort of thing. So it's digging into what makes you tick, what lights you up, what rockets you, what pisses you off. And it's tapping into those things. It's not the coach's job to do that. It's part and parcel, but you got to make up your mind. You have to play the game, and collectively as a team, you have to play together, and you got to work it, and you have to be one or two steps ahead of the other team versus behind. Because if you're not leading, you're going to be following around, and we know what happens when that happens. But we also have seen it too, where everybody starts to lead. And as an athlete, you have to take that initiative. It has to come from within. And if it's not coming from within, it's asking the question of, all right, what do I need to do to bring it up, to bring it out? If it's not there, you know, we have mental coaches, we have support staff. Sometimes there's somebody who says something that'll just get you back into the game really quick or take you out of the game really quick. And it's going to be do or die if you don't play your best game ever.
Did you ever have a competitor where you felt like they beat you? And like, obviously I know you won a gold medal, so obviously it didn't happen all the time, but was there one, like, because the Oilers, Florida beats them when it matters. Did you ever have a competitor who did that, and did you finally get over it? And if you did, how?
Coming up the ranks, Annemir's older sister, Carrie, was a racer as well. And she was willing to win at any cost. And in 2002, I was up against her, and it was crazy, Jason. It was absolutely crazy. It was like roller derby on bicycles. She was like whipping people up and down and all over the track without taking you and knocking you off your bike. And I literally got schooled, and I was pissed. I was angry. And I was thinking about this going, is this the right way to play? For me, it wasn't, but for her, it was. And that was a decision that she made, and it was a decision I made. But what got me over it was, you know what? I needed to outsmart her. I could match her speed for speed because we were both in the same sport. We were pretty much at the same level. But where my strength really started to come out and really started to shine was when I started playing the mental game. And it was, how could I be one or two moves ahead of her? Could I anticipate her move and be there exactly when I caught her sleeping when she wasn't looking? And if you're not playing chess and being one or two steps ahead, you're going to get knocked off your bike. You're going to get knocked off your skates, and you're going to get schooled. So you go back to the drawing board. I went back to what was the simplicity stuff? What was the basic stuff? What did I need to do? Where did I get caught sleeping? Where was I weak? Where was I really strong? So we focused on where I was really strong, and we started building and expanding even further out, which isn't focusing on your weaknesses. It's bringing it up so then you could play any card. If a move was made, you could counter that, and then you could counter it again. And it just became automatic because you had done the repetition. If you do it once and you see this move, oh, that's great. But to be able to do it again and again and again so that it becomes second nature is a whole other story. That's what practice is for. That's what training is for. But then it's also doing the mindset work of the imagining the moves, imagining that play again. What am I going to do? How am I going to counter it? So you have to come up with different variations, because when you're in it, you don't have time to think. And sometimes I think that's what we're seeing. It's thinking about, well, what should I be doing? Where should I be? And then it's too late because you have a split second to make a decision and you have to go. So it has to be automatic. If you're thinking about it, you're going to get schooled.
Yeah, well, it is one. I believe for the Oilers, work ethic for the most part, you're professional. Their work ethic's going to be fine. Sometimes the team will have it. Maybe you're tired, fatigue. You're playing 4 games in 6 days or 3 and 4. I get that. The Oilers don't have that right now. And I don't think that Florida beat them to lose pucks all over the ice or anything like that. But I just don't think Edmonton ever really engaged Florida to the level from a group of players that have had a team not only beat you, but really mock you in a lot of ways off of the ice. And that's the part where I feel like, you talked about how your competitor would do anything to win and finally said, okay, I got to push back. Like at some point as an athlete, you got to stand up for yourself and push back regardless of the sport.
Agreed. Totally. But then, Jason, that's a decision where you make, I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to be in control. And whatever you do, I'm going to be able to counter. I'm going to be able to match it. And this is where you end up outsmarting them. This is where you outthink them. You have to think like a tactician. And that tactician is always in control. They never let go of control. They always know where they are. They know where they're going. They know where they've been. You can turn around backwards and they still know exactly where you are because you've got that peripheral, you've got your spidey senses that go, oh, I know, my guy's coming up. I'm going to pass it away. Or you're going to start moving and maneuvering. You have to be in control. The moment you let go of the control or being in charge, you just lost the puck. You've lost the game.
Lorianne Munzer joins us. So how do you think the Oilers get out of that? Or the fact that this year, and it's been all year long, they've really struggled to have consistency in their game and win 3 in a row. They've done it once. They're 1-9-2 in games where they've won 2 in a row, and then they're going for a third win. They've got 1 out of 12 wins. They've been outscored 47-26. Lots of those games last night, last week against Dallas, they weren't really in the game. That, to me, that becomes an issue of just a lack of a continued progressive commitment to competing.
It's a good question, Jason. It's hard not being in the room, but something that I would be looking at is if the players are on par, the coaching staff is on par, where are the other departments or other areas, and are they serving the team, or is there a breakdown somewhere? Because obviously there's a breakdown somewhere. All players in the NHL, they're pretty close physical-wise. Some are better. There's others that are amazing mental-wise. They're we'll call it mental gymnastics, whatever you want to call it. But if something is breaking down, is there a distraction outside that's happening that we have no idea what's going on? Or maybe there's something internally. I don't know, but there is, what I can see, something going on. I just don't know what it is. Coaching staff is great. The players are great. So my question would be, where is the breakdown? Where is the breakdown occurring? Is it within the organization, or is it outside of the organization, or is it something else?
Well, it's something that they've got basically under a month to figure out. And who knows, maybe there'll be a switch when the playoffs begin. And the good news for the Oilers is they could go, Vegas has some problems. Anaheim's an inexperienced team that gives up a lot. Seattle isn't great. LA isn't great. So, Utah maybe might be the best potential first round opponent they face. So that's the good news, is it's not like they're going to have to face a juggernaut, but they're going to have to wake up. They've done it in the past. I know they know how to win. That's obvious. I think they've shown that. But right now, they're not playing consistent enough to win on a regular basis. And I don't know if you can just flip a switch. So we'll see.
You can flip a switch. My first coach, Frank Fogelin, oh man, he passed me a letter, and it was the best kick in the butt I ever got. It was entitled "Put Up or Shut Up." He said, quit talking. Just let your actions speak louder than the words, and get on your bike and ride. And that was a switch and a talking to that I need. I have no idea, Jason, what the rest of the letter was about, but I do remember that. It was like, put up or shut up. And it's like, either you are all in or all out. It's one or the other. And if you're going to be all in, look, you got to eat everybody up, spit them out, chew them twice, and really go for it. Either go for it or, well, jump in the stands and watch the games.
Lorianne, great stuff. Have yourself an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
You too. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Lorianne Munzer. It is 3 o'clock time for Connor Howling. Sports 1440 update. I'll update you on your bracket and much more. When we return, we will have Ansar Khan. Huge games going on in the East. We'll talk about those. Some changes on the Oilers. Again, Craig Button, Speck, Low Tide, Livingston, and more on a busy Friday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here is the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest. 1 year on your furnace or your AC. And you know what? You can save even more when you bundle them together at legacyheating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Getting going at 5. Leafs host the Canes, Devils in Washington. The Blackhawks hosting the Avs, Panthers up against the Flames, and the Ducks travel to Utah in the association. Got the Raptors in Denver taking on the Nuggets at 7. Also, Grizz host the Celtics, Hawks in Houston, Pistons up against the Warriors, and the Knicks in Brooklyn. March Madness Day 2. Iowa State beating up on number 15 Tennessee State 90-55. Also got Alabama over Hofstra 67-59. Miami, Ohio trailing Tennessee 26-17 in the first, and Utah behind Villanova 36-35. Later on, number 9 Iowa up against number 8 Clemson. You've got UCLA and UCF. Queens University takes on Purdue. Number 1 Florida meets Prairie View A&M, and Missouri battles Miami earlier today. Arizona gets past Long Island University. Virginia over Wright State. Number 5 Texas Tech gets past Akron 91-71, and it was Kentucky over Santa Clara in overtime 89-84. In the WHL, Oil Kings are in Lethbridge tonight. Puck drop at 7. They'll host Calgary at 4 on Sunday. In the BCHL, the Saints head to Salmon Arm, the Crusaders in Trail. Both games getting going at 8. And in the AJ playoffs kicking off, Calgary and Canmore. Storm hosts the Bobcats. Camrose taking on Drumheller, and Whiteport welcomes Fort Mac to town. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll head up to Detroit, talk some Red Wings with Ansar Khan of MLive.com. And speed things up in the CanTorque Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates.
How are you?
If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Returns to Gregor Show.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas?
Positive.
Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
This is your moment to come on down and play for your chance to win over $300,000 in prizes. But that's not all. Buy more, save more on select major appliances. Up to $1,000 off. Save up to 40% on select mattresses and up to 25% on furniture. Plus, this Saturday, play for up to $1,000 off your purchase. Everyone who plays is a winner. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Every goal, every Selly. The place to cheer on your favorite team is Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with all games on tons of big screens. And Selly's menu, top shelf. Plus, check out the game night food and drink features. And don't miss the excitement of Oilers watch parties all season long. Experience Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Hanley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day. Big plans for the weekend. Maybe you're just going to sit down and watch your bracket. Who knows? We'll get some injury update, good news and bad news day for the Edmonton Oilers. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, use the Gregor Show bonuses every day. Check those out. We got some tonight. Carolina Hurricanes, kind of like them. Utah Mammoth on a roll. Also, Sabres, and that team is fine, so we'll get to them. Oilers in Tampa Bay, we're going to see some offense. Well, you do have the 2 leading point getters in the National Hockey League, and McDavid and Kucherov. McKinnon, of course, right behind them. So should be a fun one tomorrow night. Oilers, after a shutout, I would think they're going to play better. We'll see. Now, let's get to the injury report. And for the Oilers, as I mentioned, a mix of good news and bad news. The good news, Ty Emberson is likely ready to go, according to Chris Knobloch, and they'll miss him. I think he solidifies that third pair. Stastny, he just hasn't, he's not as good as Emerson right now. Right now, at this time last year, Emerson wasn't as good as he is now. Who knows? Maybe Stastny will take a step. The problem is he's not a right shot. He's a left shot defenseman, a little bit smaller. And my concern with Stastny is there's not a lot of offense play making ability with him, right? Like, he's not a big defender. He's not going to overpower you. So like, you look at, if you're going to be a number 5, number 6 defenseman, there's got to be something that you bring. Ty Emberson, he's a defender and he's physical. That's what he is. Right? You know that. Like, Ty Emberson, I think, has really this season had a solid year as a number 6 defenseman on your team. He knows what his role is. He plays his job. We don't see him try to go end to end. He's not trying to be what he isn't. But he's become good at what he's good at. And I think his return will be a welcome addition to the blue line. There's no timeline yet for Trent Frederick. Didn't skate. He's not going to play tomorrow. So the Oilers, now you got multiple guys hurt. Right now, Janmark wasn't doing much, but he's out. Lazar is out until April because he's on LTIR. He went on LTIR. What was it? March 4th. So I got to count the if that's 10 games or not. It'll be close for him, but he's going to return sometime in April. Was the word from Knobloch today. Now, when he's back, could he get in the lineup? Potentially, because I got some young guys in there right now with not a ton of experience. But Arentia, he'll play his first game as an Oiler tomorrow night. He was skating on the fourth line today with Henrique and Szymanski. McDavid with his Hyman and Savoy. Nugent Hopkins between Kapanen and Podkolzin. Dickinson with Roslovic and Jones. Hey, Max Jones, I give him credit. He's played pretty well his last few games. You got to earn your ice time. He's gotten noticed. That's what you want. He scored a few goals. He's been uber physical. He's skating. Now he's got to do it all the time because there's a reason why Max Jones was a first-round pick, because he had the ability to do it. His challenge has been finding the consistency on a game-by-game basis. If he can bring it, then he's going to add something. No question. Hey, Gregor, what about Doc? Yeah, Doc's the reason Lazar was asked about because Lazar's skating. Doc's not skating with the team yet. I don't know if you're like Doc might return, but it'll probably be in the American League when he gets clearance. I don't think you're going to see him back with the Oilers this year. So we'll see. Hey, Gregor, I study and advise organizations on creating thriving cultures, and Lorianne was 100% right. Something is missing. That's why they had a coffee back in, the trades, of course, but it's something off in the core leadership. They're not a pack at all in front of each other. Seems like at times you guys are more fired up than the players. Something looks off from Lauren. Well, I definitely wouldn't say I'm more fired up than the players. They play the game. It's a high-level game. I understand it. But it is a good question because your core, every good team, like if you look at it, the tenacity has to come from within. I know a lot of people have texted in, you take on the personality of your coach. Well, let's go back and look. Were the Winnipeg Jets mean, angry, arrogant, and aggressive? No, but Paul Maurice was their coach. He's in Florida, and now they're all those things. Is that his personality, or is it the players they have? Look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Craig Berube, tough as nails. Always was. Fiery guy. Do they play that way? No, because they don't have players who do it. Rick Tocchet in Vancouver. The Oilers played the Canucks. Were they oh my God, like this team, like, do you remember when Rick Tocchet played? Do you guys remember how he played? Oh, man, he was a power forward. He was mean. He would fight. He was tough. You don't see any of that. Adam Foote, highly competitive player. Are the Vancouver Canucks, do they take on his personality? I think that's something that's being repeated a lot, and I don't buy it. I think you can sometimes, sure, but lots of times you don't, because the true core and personality of your team comes from your leaders. That's who it comes from. And again, look at Barkov. The Florida Panthers got a lot of guys that play, rough around the edges. He's not that guy, but he fits in. He still plays very hard in his way. And he'll smack a guy every now and then, but he's not chirping because that's not who he is. But you got lots of other guys who love it, right? And they respect him because he doesn't cheat the game, right? He knows his position. He knows his role. He doesn't cheat. So that's how he leads, right? So I don't need Connor McDavid being the guy who's yapping, right? I don't need him to be that guy. It's not his personality, right? Leon's a little bit of a yapper. Not much, but a little bit. But the guy who should, Zach Hyman, he's a relentless dog in a bone. Not a big yapper. Nugent Hopkins, very quiet guy. And he'll stand up and fight for himself, once, twice a year. Sure. Darnell Nurse should be that guy. He's capable of it. Right? We've seen him earlier in his career be aggressive, be a little bit of a play along the edge, cross the line. But it seems like ever since he crossed the line, got suspended, he was not doing it anymore. And I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know. Try to ask him about it. You don't get anywhere with it. So I don't know. But I do think that's an issue. Like, look at the Oilers when they were a championship team. Mark Messier. Everybody talked about it. Hey, Gretzky was their best player. He made them all better because of his skill and his work ethic and practice and in games. And he was like, Gretzky was ferocious to want to crush a team. If he had 6 points, he wanted 8. That's where his ferocity came from. Messier, though, he was the leader. Everybody on the team felt important, but he was a jerk and cheap and dirty and ultra skilled at the same time. Right? Kevin Lowe, highly competitive. Like Kevin, you asked Kevin, was Kevin like uber tough as a fighter? No. But he was a cheap shot artist, and I say that in ultra, and that's not a bad thing, right? You can play with an edge and cheat. They brought in Ken Linsman. He fit in. Dave Lumley would chirp guys and yap at guys. Lee Fogland didn't say much, played really hard. Right? They had Jackson. They had McClellan. They had McSorley. They had lots of different guys. Semenko. And you go watch it. Like Dave Semenko was tough as nails, but God, it's like he had no conscience at times. Remember, was it Poplinski? Like he's literally pulls his head like he's kneeing him. Like he had no fear. Paul Coffey was highly competitive. Right? Glenn Anderson sticks up around his head. He got suspended, 6-8 times? Right? Esa Tikkanen would give a woodpecker a headache. They had different personalities. Who on the Oilers has it? Right? Where are the guys? It's why? Why can't other guys have a personality? Darnell Nurse should be the emotional leader of the team. He should be. He's big. He's strong. He talks lots. Stop with the smiling at everybody. Get mad. That's what he should be bringing. Right? I don't care if he'll make a few mistakes. That's totally fine. But you can add to the team. Right? Evan Bouchard is not going to be a verbal assassin. Right? He'll crush you with his skill. Right? Matthias Ekholm plays hard, but he's not that guy. Jake Wallman's got a little bit of it. Should have more of it. But the organization should look and say, that's what we're missing. Right? They're close. They're very close. But too often in the regular season, they don't have guys who can bring you into the fight. When was the last time a team got pissed off at the Edmonton Oilers? Can you remember? Like, that's why Clattenburg, in his limited minutes, in his limited games, fans are like, oh my God, who is this guy? Right? He's out there. He's running around. And guess what? He scored a goal. So he contributed. Right away, he scored a goal. He played aggressive. The guy played what? 5 games? I think he played a total of 36 minutes in those 5 games. But you sure noticed him. He got in a fight. Few fights, I think it was. He's aggressive. Well, one fight, actually, I think, right? Just one. But, he's getting in scrums. His presence elevated the animosity in games. The other team gets yapping. And here's the thing about the Oilers. I don't doubt that they will stand up for one another. But you need more guys to bring it out of them, right? Like I remember Milan Lucic telling me about the biggest benefit for him of playing with Brad Marchand was, you know what? Like, sure, you'd love to be in every game and you'd love to be, okay, I'm fired up and I'm mean, I'm mad, but it doesn't happen every night. It's hard, right? And so he said for him, and I believe him, not every day at work are you fired up every day. Come on. It's a lot of hard work to do. But Brad Marchand, there would be games where Lucic said, you know what? I'm just wasn't feeling like you tried it. You try your hardest, but you just don't have it. And then all of a sudden, Marchand gets into yapping with someone and he's mouthing off and some other guy in the other team. And all of a sudden, Lucic's like, hey, wait a sec. Like, hey, that's my teammate. He was like my little brother. And boom, now Lucic is in the game. He said it was unbelievable that Marchand could just bring him into the game by him yapping with other guys because it elevates emotion. Anybody out there who's played, you don't even have to play sports. Go to the bar. If all of a sudden one of your buddies is mouthing off, even though you're just, now sometimes maybe you're like, okay, this guy's mouthed off 100 times. Eventually he's going to have to get punched in the mouth for it. Okay, it's different. But lots of the times, all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a sec. All of a sudden now I'm a little bit more agitated. Well, it's no different than sports. You got a teammate who comes into that scrum and he's knocking a guy around and all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't have 2 guys on him, so I got to grab a guy. And now you're just, might only raise you 1%. But if everybody raises 1%, well, now you're more emotionally engaged. And I'll ask the question again. Can you tell me the last time an opposing team got mad around the Edmonton? Remember when J.S. Shiger lost his marbles on Ryan Smith? Collins, you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Right? Like, how often does that happen?
Honestly, I'm trying to think of when the last time, and it might have been when Milan Lucic was an Oiler. Maybe, well, Evander Kane probably got someone going.
Yeah.
But this iteration of the team with this season? No.
Hey, Gregor, what'd you make about Knobloch suggesting Clattenburg didn't impact it? I didn't love that answer. JP, I didn't love it. I know he's trying to say, hey, you know what? He played did hit his 8 minutes. Yes. Chris, yes, it can. It can spread over because the emotion gets heightened for everybody. Even the guys who aren't on the ice, you just feel it. You come back to the bench, the other team's skating by the bench. Bleep you. Now you're into it, right? You sense the emotion. You sense the energy. Even as fans, when you're in the building and there's a big hit and now there's another big hit. And oh my God, like look at the first shift from last night in the third period. 2 periods too late, by the way, coach. Look what happened when you started Jones in the third period. Literally 8 seconds into the game, he's barreling in on the forecheck. Hammers Ekblad down to the ice. Crowd's going crazy. Puck's in front. Dickinson had a great chance. Too bad he shot it right in the pads. It wasn't that hard of a save. But he had a good chance. And what did it stem from? A very simple dump and chase, get a big winger who can finish his checks, and away you go. Guys, honestly, that's a good question. Maybe the Calgary game? Yeah, but that was Tkachuk who got everybody fired up, right? That was Tkachuk. So the Oilers, like I said, they would respond. And Zach Kassian was never afraid to do it, right? Like Corey Perry would, if the Oilers were flat, he would try to get in a fight, and that would elevate some of the energy. But the other team wasn't really mad at him, right? Like he knew how to do it. To say, okay, I got to do something to try to up our energy because we're flat. Right? But, like that's an area of Trent Frederick's game. If I was going to work with Trent Frederick this offseason, I'd say, you know what, Trent? We got to work on gamesmanship. That's not something that's taught in the gym. Right? Sure, we'd like you to get stronger, faster, all that. You can do that every summer. But let's work on some gamesmanship. And I would sit down with them and say, here you go. Here's example 1. What are these guys around the league doing when the game is flat and nothing's going on that they can do to try to elevate the energy and emotion? Because that's when sports is the best. Everybody, I don't care what sport you played. When you're more emotionally engaged, heck, in men's league, lots of you play men's league, and all of a sudden there's Johnny Tryhard on the other team and he hits one of your defensemen and it's Bob who's not overly aggressive. And suddenly you're like, well, now I'm pissed off. I got to protect Bob. Right? It happens even in men's league. You've all experienced it. Right? Ask Declan in soccer, in men's league soccer. Right? You're out there kicking shins, but sure, you get a little mad. Happens all the time. And like I said, if anybody can tell me the last time an opposing team was pissed off at the Oilers, let me know. Did they ever get out of their comfort zone trying to get a guy? Right? Now, the Oilers intimidate teams with McDavid's skill and their power play, sure. But they don't annoy teams. Florida can, and guess what? Florida can beat you with skill. They dominated the Oilers in the Cup final with skill. But they will piss you off, and they will slash you, and they will chirp you, and they will hit you, and they will bug you, and they will irritate you, and they'll beat you. And the Oilers, hey, they have a lot of good things going. But this year, I don't care about last year. I really don't care about the Cup anymore. It's irrelevant. Look at Florida. They won the Cup last year. They're going to miss the playoffs. Right? So, yeah, they'll go down as a Cup winner. Awesome. But now they missed the playoffs. And so the Edmonton Oilers, you're in a playoff spot. Right? Oh, we're in a playoff race. And I get it, Darnell. He mentioned it many times. I actually liked Darnell's answers last night. Probably one of his best press conferences in a while. I thought he actually gave you something. But I'd still, at some point, I would love to hear an Oiler player. We got to play with more energy. We got to play with more passion. We got to play with more fire. Get inside the other team. Get them mad at us. Stop waiting to react. The Oilers will always react. They don't initiate. And that's been a problem for quite some time. And the thing was, I've seen Frederick play that way in Boston. Now, some guys, you need a running mate sometimes. And that's, I'm a firm believer in that. A little bit of a pack mentality, right? Clattenburg's out there. He's stirring up his line. Oh, all of a sudden you got a little extra juice. Ooh, this will be a fun game. And now the next guy goes, right? Like, remember Vancouver had it. You had Bieksa and you had Burrow and you had Kessler. Now, you still had the Sedins, like two of the nicest guys ever. But they played with Burrow. An absolute POS on the ice. Really nice guy off, but on the ice, jerk. People hated him. Kessler, dickhead on the ice. Bieksa, same thing. Right? And it filters around, and one guy's doing it, now everybody's doing it. Right? You get into, what's McTavish? Oh, we got into the vortex, right? The Oilers are never in the vortex of emotion where it spreads around. So until they find that, it's going to be tough. Right. And the other thing last night, so we'll get to a break, was on the power play, Manny Savoy's going to have to shoot the puck. You're walking downtown twice. And I know you're looking for the backdoor pass. And if you make it, it works. But if you don't make it, you're ruining the chance. So at some point, fake the pass, take the shot. Right? Like the Oilers, they were way too pass happy on their power play last night. Especially after McDavid in the morning said, you know what, without Leon Draisaitl, we got to shoot. Well, they didn't shoot. So tomorrow night, my God, bring some, I don't care about work ethic, schmork ethic. Like that should be expected. I shouldn't even have to talk about our work ethic. Like you don't get applauded in the NHL for having a good work ethic. You should have that. That's a no-brainer. That's the one thing you can control. How about elevating your energy? An energetic work ethic. Not just a work ethic. Energetic, annoying work ethic. That's what they need to have. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at CanTorque.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.330 positive Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Cons, I haven't even looked. Any upsets yet today in the bracket?
Nothing major so far. Just had Alabama survive a little bit of a scare. We had another one that went to overtime. Let me scroll through here. It was Kentucky and Santa Clara. That was a close
Did
one.
Kentucky win?
Kentucky got the win, though, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, lots of close games, but really there was the 112 seed upset. And I think at number 10, right, Texas A&M, and VCU one is an 11 seed. So there's a few, but nothing higher than number 12 for sure.
No, 12 and 5, I think, yeah, would be the biggest.
Yeah. So, all right, there you go. Upsets in the National Hockey League. Oh, there's been a few. But what's more interesting is the games last night in the National Hockey League. The Pacific Division all across the board struggled. There were some teams though that got some massive wins. The Boston Bruins 6-1 over the Jets. The Senators, Brady Tkachuk scored with 13 seconds left. They win in regulation over the Islanders. The Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens opened up the scoring. The Red Wings got the game winner with 3 minutes and 25 seconds left and then scored an empty netter late. Andrew Kopp comes back in, gets that empty netter. So they get a huge win as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You got about a week or so left to get your NHL Star Sticks. They're back. McDavid, Matthews, and more. You can get one of 7 mini sticks with every Star Stick meal. Collect all your favorite players for limited time only at McDonald's. And we mentioned it, man, the Detroit Red Wings, that they need a few wins. And they got 2 huge wins in their last 2 games. They're now still in the second wildcard spot, but they have 84 points, as do the Boston Bruins, as do the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens do have a game in hand. That's the only reason they're ahead of both the teams, because Detroit and Boston actually have more regulation wins than the Montreal Canadiens. Longtime veteran beat reporter of the Red Wings, Ansar Khan, joins us. And Ansar, the playoff race is on. It's exciting, probably nerve-wracking for Detroit fans, but they get Kopp back last night. What's the latest update on when Larkin might return?
He's getting closer. He took part in the morning skate on Thursday. First time he skated with the team in almost 2 weeks. No definitive time frame, but it appears to be imminent. I don't know. My guess is he's not going to play tomorrow because he hasn't had a full contact practice yet. But possibly Tuesday for Ottawa. But in any event, it is getting closer.
Okay, and obviously that would be big, but they've managed to fend it off. They got caught back last night. He helps out down the middle. They get a huge win over the Montreal Canadiens last night. And you look at, how much pressure do you feel there is in the organization? What if they don't make the playoffs this year? Is there any, would Steve Yzerman be in trouble?
No, I don't think so. But it's definitely a tremendous amount of pressure. For a couple of reasons. I mean, you go back to late January, a game in Winnipeg, they won 5-1. They had a 12-point cushion in the playoff race, and it looked, they were in good shape at that point. Since then, it's been just gradually whittled away, and then they have this history hanging over them, this recent history of collapses in March. They just, for whatever reason, they've just fallen apart in March. And to the point where Todd McClellan said, I'm not going to answer any more questions about March. This is a different team. But before they beat Calgary here, won their last couple of games, a lot of people were wondering, is history repeating itself here? So they've got to overcome that mental hurdle as well.
Yeah, well, it is. It's funny because I was looking at that earlier. Like they had lost 7 in a row to start March 2 years ago, missed the playoffs, 6 in a row. And that was after winning 6 in a row. Then they lost 6 in a row and pretty much ruined their chance. I know that 2 years ago they lost in a tiebreaker. And then last year they kind of flamed out. They ended up missing by 5 despite being in a playoff spot to start the month. Now, earlier in the season, Todd McClellan wasn't shy. Like, I think it was game 2 or maybe even after game 1. He just said, enough's enough. Like, you know what, if this team wants to win, you gotta put it, into gear. And they did. Like on January 1st, they were in first place in their division. Right. And they were in second place on February 1st, but it's been a slow decline. Now, though, they beat Montreal. That was massive. And I guess the good news is now you've got Boston at home and then you got Ottawa, like all the teams that you're playing against, Ansar, like I guess they couldn't ask for a better opportunity to control your destiny because they play all the teams they're battling with.
Yeah, clearly this is the most important stretch of their season here. This 4-game homestand with 3 games in a row, Montreal, Boston, and Ottawa at home, teams that they're several teams that they're in the mix for a playoff spot, and it's huge to not only win these games but also to win them in regulation. Don't get involved in too many 3-point games like last night. If Montreal would have gotten a point there and hung on, that's potentially huge. So if you can win these games against these teams in regulation, that's all the more benefit to you for sure.
What do you make of John Gibson's season for the Red Wings?
Yeah, he's been their MVP without a doubt. It's hard to imagine anything less than what he's given them that they wouldn't even be in this thing right now. Because Cam Talbot's 38. He's done a good job filling in occasionally, but he's not at that stage of his career where he can carry the load. The guys in Grand Rapids aren't ready. They're not ready to carry that load in the NHL. They got Sebastian Cossa, who's a very highly touted prospect there. And they needed Gibson, one, to be healthy for the full season, which he pretty much has been. And then 2, to basically excel when they've needed him, because the offense has been an issue, especially 5-on-5 offense. I think they're probably ranked around 27th, 28th in the league. For much of the season, offensively, they've been boosted by a power play that's suddenly, dried up over the last 15 games or so. So they've needed that goaltending, and he's given it to them.
Patrick Kane is chasing down the record for most points by an American. He's going to get it very soon. And you know what? He's in the later stage of his career, Ansar, but he's still down this stretch here. There's a guy who's come up with some really big goals for Detroit.
Yeah, he has. He actually he passed Mike Modano a few weeks ago as far as most points for a U.S. born player. I know Brett Hall's considered on NHL.com the stats, he's considered American even though he was born in Canada. But he got that record passing Modano, and he has been stepping it up as of late. Went through a couple of stretches where it dried up on him. Battled a couple of injuries. He was out for a few games here and there. But no, definitely. And like I said, with Larkin out for several games here, they've basically only gotten consistent offense from 4 players this year: Larkin, DeBrincat, Raymond, and to some extent Kane. And if a couple of those guys aren't producing or are injured, they need people to step up, and Kane has done that.
I know it's only in a fill-in role, but how's JT Compher being as the number 1 center?
Good. Yeah, just I believe 3 games here. He's elevated well. That's the phrase that McClellan used, and that he's elevated. He's provided a net front presence, which they need. That's how he scored the first goal last night when DeBrincat's shot went off of him. But for most of the season, he's been, at the number 3 slot. Some games even number 4. But with Kopp and Larkin out, he had to fill in there between Kane and DeBrincat, and he did a good job. So much so that Kopp came back last night, but Kopp, who'd been playing most of the season with those 2 wingers, they kept Comfer on that line, and we'll see. They're not sure what they're going to do here for tomorrow.
You mentioned that the MVP is in goal, but Mo Seider has been a massive part of the Red Wings' competitiveness this year, right? He's moved as a clear number 1 defender. How has Falk fit in since being acquired at the deadline?
Good. Kind of what you would expect from a veteran, a 2-way defenseman. Certainly nothing flashy, steady. That's what they needed. They needed more than his offense. They needed his defense on that second pairing with Ben Sherratt, because they had rookie Axel Sandin-Pellikk all season in that spot, and while they like his offensive game, as a young guy, still a bit undersized, his defensive deficiencies were really showing here over the last couple of months, to the point where there were several games where they had to essentially sit him in the third period of close games and go with 5 defensemen. Well, that can't continue, so they desperately needed a right shot, their veteran right shot defenseman that they could trust defensively, and Falk was the guy, and so that's an area that was vital. That their number 1 concern at the trade deadline, and they shored it up, and even Sandin-Pellikk, they've actually sat him the last 6 games because they prefer the veteran Bernard Docker to pair with the younger Johansson. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they send Sandin-Pellikk to Grand Rapids here pretty soon.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You look at the schedule, Boston and Ottawa, the upcoming one. How do you match up? How do you think Detroit matches up to those 2 teams?
Good. Actually, Ottawa's a team. It's interesting that in recent years, they've given them some problems with their kind of a bigger physical team. They haven't handled it well, but they've actually fared very well against Ottawa this season. Boston's another team. I think, they pretty much go even with Boston over the last few years. But again, you're playing at home. These are the games that you really got to take advantage of. Although I will say, if you look at John Gibson's statistics on the road, he's been much better on the road. He's been actually one of the best goalies stats-wise in the league on the road.
Okay. Well, they'll be at home for those 2. Then they got a real tough one. But the rest of this month is an opportunity for them. They don't play a ton of games. I think they only have they're busier in April, actually, than they are here the rest of March, because they've only got, 5 games remaining here in this from now until the 31st. So, they play Boston, then 2 days off, Ottawa, 2 days off. Then they do play back-to-back Buffalo and Philly, and then 2 more days off. So fatigue should not be an excuse here when you got 3 games after 2 days at break. So you don't see that very often, and they're getting it late in the year at a time when Larkin's banged up. So, maybe he can get in some games later this month.
Yeah, it is the schedule. You notice from that standpoint, not a lot of back-to-backs. They got that the one you mentioned, Buffalo, Philly, back-to-back next weekend. But other than that, it's spaced out nicely for them.
Ansar, thanks for this as always, man. Enjoy the stretch run for the Red Wings.
Okay, thank you.
Ansar Khan joining us from Detroit. Huge win for them in regulation last night. Huge win for the Senators in regulation. And man, it is a tight race in the Eastern Conference, as you have Montreal's got 84 points. They're 3rd in the Atlantic. Pittsburgh has 84. They're 2nd in the Metro. Columbus has 83. They're third in the Metro. Boston and Detroit both have 84. They have the 2 wildcard spots. And the Islanders have 83. And then the Senators have game in hand, and they're at 79. It's like they're 5 points out. It's getting pretty dicey for them. Meanwhile, in the West, LA 72, Seattle 71, Nashville 71, San Jose 70. San Jose's lost 3 in a row. Their games in hand are down to only 1. As I mentioned, games in hand only help you if you win them, and they didn't win any. But I think the Sharks are, for me, I'd kind of count them out. I think it's down to LA, Seattle, and Nashville to see who's going to get that final playoff spot. I know the Jets think that they're alive. They're 5 points back. They don't have any games in hand, though. So 5 points back when you got to pass 4 teams, that's just hard to do. So we'll come back and we'll talk about passing and more on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win games with salad.
Island Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and if you want your trailer to be ready for May long weekend, the time to make your plan is not in the spring, it's now.
Everyone wants to be ready to hit the great outdoors at the same time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, but a little foresight can have your camping plans firmed up while everyone else is putting it off for later. At No Bull, we're building our spring startup schedules now, so it's a good time to get on our list.
And there's only so many RVs you can work on between then and now, right, Rick?
It's a zero-sum game, Bob. We have a finite number of RV techs and service bays. We're working every day from now until the busy season, and there's one thing I'll guarantee. every spring startup slot for May long weekend will be reserved by April 1st. So if you want to spend Victoria Day in the great outdoors instead of wishing you were in the great outdoors, drop by or give us a call now. You'll thank me later.
And that's NoBull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
So we roll through the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, as always, brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can try out Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province, PlayAlberta.ca. Oilers, so we mentioned it, Ty Emberson probably will get back in the lineup tomorrow night. Trent Frederick won't be in the lineup. He is banged up. Yarbenti will play tomorrow. And Hyman and McDavid will play together. Nugent Hopkins with Podkolzin and Kapanen, Dickinson with Jones and Roslovic today, which leaves Szymanski, Henrique, and Arbentia on the fourth line. Let's get to the racing report, brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com. It's Colin Livingston joins us once again, and probably should get excited about the race in Japan if you're an F1 fan, because then you won't have one for a month, as no surprise due to the what's going on in the Middle East. The races in Bahrain and Saudi have officially been canceled. Won't happen this year. So this last one here in Japan, just because of that gap, becomes pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting the season started. It was great to have back-to-back weekends with Australia and then Shanghai. A 2-week break is very common, especially this time of year. But yeah, for people who like Formula One, who like racing, you better enjoy it while you can, because it's going to be a while between Suzuka and Miami.
What do you make about this situation between Aston Martin and Audi?
Boy, it's again, we're 2 races in, and now we've got silly season, and for a change, it doesn't involve the drivers. We've got the rumor started a couple days ago that within Aston Martin, Adrian Newey was going to step down as the team principal. They want him to focus more on car development, which is not too surprising because their car has been atrocious.
Yes.
Then it was earlier suggested that former McLaren head Andreas Seidel was going to move into that role, which seemed like a pretty natural thing. Andreas has been on the sidelines for a while, so he could move in right away. But then yesterday, things started going crazy with the talk that Jonathan Wheatley, who was the sporting director at Red Bull, took over at Audi, was going to fill that role. And, Aston Martin said, hey, we don't discuss our upper management's, demands. And Audi put out a release. And then this morning, Audi also said that Wheatley is leaving the team with immediate effect. So he is done.
Yeah.
So within their camp, it really seemed like there was a lot of tension between him and Mattia Binotto. For people who remember Binotto, he was the former team principal at Ferrari. So now Binotto takes over as team principal. Wheatley is on the sidelines. It looks like they're going to try and put a deal together to bring him and Newey back together. Obviously, they work together at Red Bull. They get along. But then it comes down to how much, what they call gardening leave that Wheatley needs to take, because he's obviously been instrumental in Audi's transition from Sauber in their engine development, what they have now, what they're going to be doing in the future. So all of that information needs to kind of get stale dated before he can just go and take it to another team. But yeah, pretty big for race 2 of the season to be making these big changes.
Seems very early. Now, recapping that Toronto, you had Russell, Leclerc, and Hamilton were 1, 2, 3 in the sprints, but then Antonelli was the winner for the race, and I think became the youngest pole winner as well. But McLaren's had some real issues here to start the season, man. Like, I know it's early, but like through 2 races, it doesn't look like the only competition is really going to be between Antonelli and Russell. Ferrari's close, but there were still 25 seconds. Like, that's a pretty big gap.
They were. This gap is going to probably work in Ferrari's advantage, that they can now take a month, focus on, figuring out what they call this Macarena wing. They've already booked a filming day at I think at one of the tracks in Italy. It doesn't really matter where they're actually going to, they call it a filming day. They're going to use it as an unofficial test where they can play a little bit with some of these things. You said McLaren. Oscar Piastri has not run 1 lap this year.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts.
0 laps. He took himself out in Australia.
Yeah, that was his fault.
Both him and Lando Norris missed the start last weekend with what they're calling an electrical issue. McLaren is really saying that this relates back to their Mercedes power plant, and that, the teams are kind of griping that they're not really, they know they've got the same engine, they're not convinced they have the same software, or that Mercedes is kind of withholding some of the information for them to release the full potential. So that's affecting, Williams and McLaren. But yeah, I mean, it's been a shocking bad start. And at the same time, though, Carlos Sainz finished 9th in China with that same package, mostly just by staying out of trouble. But, whereas teammate Albon didn't even make the start either in China.
Yeah. Not great, but McLaren's kind of wild. Like, it's early on, but you just look, say, man, it's a pretty big hole they've got themselves in already.
For 2 years in a row as constructors champions, and Norris last year as the drivers champion, to only have 1 driver compete laps after 2 races is shocking. It's also not unexpected. These are brand new regulations. Everyone's working through their growing pains, and and sometimes that's just the way it is.
Okay. You go to IndyCar. The drivers were loving the Arlington layout, but they loved it before. They didn't necessarily execute it very well. Is that fair?
It was a tough track to get around. Like the braking areas that were bumpy. I always take a look at who's kind of getting caught up in the action. I mean, our old show friend Stingray Robb was the first one to have issues going into turn 4, over the bumps, lost control, did a little bit of damage, caused a red flag. He wasn't really a factor on the weekend, but drivers like Joseph Newgarden, Indy 500 winner, past champion, Scott Dixon, like winningest driver, multi-time champion, they all had problems at some point in the weekend. I mean, Newgarden rode off a car. Really, really, really strange accident. He lost control, slid into the barrier, couldn't have been doing 10 miles an hour, which is not a lot of speed, and actually rode off the tub. Something just penetrated. So he had to go to a backup car for qualifying. Scott McLaughlin, another championship contender, brushed the wall on this right-hand corner, broke the suspension, and destroyed his car. Scott lost control going around a left-hand corner. Will Power was following him in warm-up, didn't see, drove into, Scotty D's car. So it caught a lot of people out, but the track itself raced very well. But what was really impressive is that they were packed. Like, every seat was sold. There was lots of fan interaction. There's, lots of the complaints where it was tough to get in and out. I don't think they were expecting to, have the popularity that they did. But, one of my employees was down there as a photographer, and he's like, it's one of the most popular races that they've ever seen.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's good. Ericsson did win his first pole position. Andretti was the team though, taking 3 of the top 4 spots. So they it's funny that F1 didn't allow them in, but they're pretty good in IndyCar. Do you think they'll do a revisit of that? Do you think Andretti will get in F1?
No. He's pretty much resigned himself. I mean, at the end of the day, Michael I think he did really well because he started that team before they had F1 approval, and then he sold that team to the new group that took it over, which were all part of his sponsorship group anyway. So, I mean, he made plenty of money on the deal. He's not involved in Andretti Global anymore with the IndyCar side either. I mean, Michael's kind of sitting on the sidelines as other people are running the business. But, we've talked a bit about Alex Palou and that, he's going to be the runaway winner. He's dominated the last couple of seasons. And Kyle Kirkwood, who ended up winning the race, drove around Palou like he was standing still. Like there was no fight. There was no contest when, Kirkwood in his Andretti, made his push. He took the lead. He controlled the race from there. And then, it was Power and Ericsson that closed out that the top 4 anyway.
I know that you guys don't get on the track here for a while, but anything new coming up in the local karting scene this year?
Hopefully not. We had so much turmoil last year. We repaved the track, and there were a bunch of issues with how the repaving went that it caused a bunch of bumps. So we're just hoping this year that we can get out, run an uneventful season. We've got the Rotax event is going to be happening in Calgary this year, where it's kind of bounced between Edmonton, Saskatoon, and Chilliwack, BC. So Calgary will be an interesting track. It's really fun to drive. I think it's going to be pretty well attended this year. But yeah, I mean, once we start our season, it looks like our numbers are up. The track is like pool table smooth finally. We're hoping it wintered okay. I don't know. I haven't got any reports from anyone who's kind of snuck out there yet, but as long as it stays smooth, we're not going to be burning through tires like we have the last couple of years, and we're not going to see people with rib injuries going over the bumps and hurting themselves. So between that and then trying to get ready for our what we're going to do in NASCAR and the Radical Series, it's a pretty busy time of the year.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it, buddy. Colin, have yourself a great weekend, and we'll set up F1 next week. Have a good one.
Sounds good, man.
See you. Racing Report brought to you by CanTorque. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Well, hey, hopefully you don't go through tires like they do on the track, but you might want to be thinking about, can I get some new tires? Do I want some new rims? Oof, they got it all. Check it out, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. I got the Kings and the Leafs. Caps host the Devils. Avs and Blackhawks. Flames host the Panthers. And the Ducks in Salt Lake City taking on the Mammoth in the Association. Raptors back in action. They'll be in Denver to take on the Nuggets just after 7. Also, Grizz, Celtics, Trailblazers, Timberwolves, Pistons, Warriors, and the Knicks head to Brooklyn. March Madness Day 2 in full swing right now. Number 6 seed Tennessee leading Miami, Ohio 60-36, and Villanova, Utah State tied at 65 in the second quarter. Earlier today, teams advancing Iowa State, Alabama, Arizona, Virginia, Texas Tech, and Kentucky. And then later tonight, Miami meets Missouri, Furman up against UConn, and California Baptist taking on Kansas. In the WHL, Oil Kings on the road in Lethbridge, taking on the Hurricanes at 7. BCHL has the Saints in Salmon Arm, while the Crusaders are in Trail. 8 o'clock starts for both of those games. And in the AJ playoffs kicking off tonight, Canmore and Calgary. Storm hosting the Bobcats. Camrose takes on Drumheller, and Whiteport welcoming Fort Mac to town. From the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles sending Canadian safety Sidney Brown to the Atlanta Falcons. The team's also swapping 4th and 6th round draft picks. Brown was drafted in the 3rd round in 2023 and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles in 2025. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to the stat of the day, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, McCarr, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Time at participating Canadian restaurants.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
Something's happening. Something big. The Service Big Share Contest is back, where just by saving money with Service Credit Union, you could win $1 million. From now until the end of April, the more money you save with us, the more chances you have to win. The Service Big Share Contest. Isn't it time to feel good about your money? The Service Big Share Contest ends April 30th, 2026. No purchase required. For information and rules, visit service.ca/win.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
This is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Favorite us right now.
Powered by PlayAlberta.ca. If you gamble, use your game sense. Learn more at gamesense.ab.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Well, your final hour of the work week, boys and girls, or maybe some of you lucky are off at 4. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, as always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. We got Craig Button coming up this hour. We're going to get to our stats today, 5 questions. We got Spec later on, LT and more. It's a busy Friday, as always. So also hear a little bit from head coach Chris Knobloch. We're going to get to that because we're going to replay some comments where we're just like, yeesh, wasn't sold that necessarily loved. You can say the Oilers work hard. I don't think they got outworked by Florida, but I don't think Edmonton had a hard enough work ethic. Aggressive. That's what I mean. I think that last night was a game where it was needed. And I think there's certain times in the year it's needed. And it's something that's still, well, this season for sure, it has been lacking from the group. And will they figure it out? I have no idea. But they're going to, ideally, you'd like to see them get a little bit more aggressive. I know that, and I don't blame the coach for that. Now, coach can have a small part in it. He's not completely oblivious to it. Because I said, I didn't like why he didn't start his 4th line. All you got to do is look at the 3rd period for my example. Look how the 3rd period started. They win the draw, to dump it in. Jones comes flying in, huge hit. They get a great scoring chance. Crowd's right into it. Imagine if you would have started the game like that. You know your fans despise that team as much as you do. And there wasn't the animosity. There wasn't the desperation of like, you know what? This team has embarrassed us. We're done with it. It's not happening. And I didn't see that. And that to me is a little concerning for sure. Now, let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction. Not only are they big in underground utilities, but also huge in the community. They're a big sponsor of the Pyramid of Giving every December to match it. Also support the Grey Withers ladies curling team, and big sponsors and supporters of Kids with Cancer. That is All Star Construction. Now, usually we give you some stats, but Connor, today on what is something that I find a lot of people have followed or looked at, and you have a few laughs about it. It's something that it's like it's created some of the best memes in regards to Chuck Norris, who passed away today. Of course, as you know, action movie star, martial arts wizard, Chuck Norris. And I don't know if you've seen a lot of them, Connor, but like, you know, the classic Chuck Norris lines. If anybody out there's got some, because we have a few. When Chuck Norris enters a room, he doesn't turn the lights on. He turns the dark off. Like, there are so many good ones, right? Chuck Norris could kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Chuck Norris beat the sun in a staring contest. Like, God, there is so many that were awesome, right? Chuck Norris could strangle you with a cordless phone. Another one that was my favorite was Chuck Norris didn't do push-ups. He pushed the earth down. You got any favorite, like, cons? Those are so, like, and I can't remember, and I tweeted it out, but there was a guy who interviewed Chuck Norris, and I don't know if you could go get that audio from my X account, cons, today. I tweeted out because I had saved that from years ago when an account, I think it was like dudes posting their W's or something. It was so funny. It was like Chuck Norris with a Chuck Norris joke. It's unbelievable. So that's one of the things that, you know what? It was kind of fun. It was kind of stupid maybe at times, but it was so funny, right? It was so funny that you like, what was another one that I'd read? Oh, Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Yeah. Do you have any favorite those Chuck Norris memes or lines that you've read?
I feel like the kids that are a little bit younger would have no idea, but this was what the internet was for a long time in 2005. Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he's never cried.
Wow.
When God said, "Let there be light," Chuck Norris said, "Say please." Like, yeah, there was so many of those good ones. And I'll always remember him from Dodgeball as well, Gregor. He gave the thumbs up so the Army Killers had a chance, right? So,
well, hey, did you hear though, Chuck Norris to give his own eulogy at his funeral? Although in theory you could do that. I've always wondered, like, why somebody with a good sense of humor, why, you know what, record your own eulogy and then play it at your funeral. Wouldn't that be like a genius move? Don't you think? Right? You got this video now. Here's a eulogy. Hey, you all gathered here today. Like, it would be funny because, like, obviously people are sad when you die, but you could you could have some fun with it. I think that would be awesome. Hey, guys, Chuck Norris didn't die. Dead died. Chuck Norris can get a girl pregnant by blowing her a kiss. Oh, Chuck Norris can light a fire by rubbing 2 ice cubes together. Dr. Phil. Now, that one's actually pretty good. So, man, it is funny. Apple pays Chuck Norris 99 cents every time he listens to a song. And another one from Teen Dean. Chuck, the flu gets a Chuck Norris shot every year. Oh, I know. You know what? It's kind of dumb humor. But God, it was funny. Like, it was hilarious how many of those would laugh. Right? Even old Deckmeister, we got him pretty good with that first one that we had today. He was chuckling with that one. So that's when you know it's good, when even the deck man is chuckling. So,
do you want that story from Chuck?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So I went in and I bent down and I petted him, and all of a sudden you heard this like that. So the trainer says, "Get up very slowly and back up." So the tiger did. He slowly got up and backed out.
And the best part of that is you don't see the guy interviewing. He kind of did the Modern Family where he looked at the camera like, "Did you just see that?" Like, good for Chuck, though, to play along and have a sense of humor with it. That's rest in peace. That's a classic. Chuck Norris can play the whole marching band by himself. So good. So good. So rest in peace, Chuck. Like, I don't know, man. Will there ever be someone else who will like, I don't know whoever started that. It just became funny. Obviously you couldn't do it now, and maybe you could never do it again because somebody would be like, "Well, you did that against Chuck Norris." But you know what? In 25 years time, Tom, somebody else does a remake of a song and everyone thinks it's the greatest song ever. So you could probably do it. Just have to pick someone else. I don't know. But God, there was a lot of classics. So those are just our stats. I'm going to change it up a little bit and talk about Chuck Norris. We will come back, and Craig Button will join us. To see Butts doing his own eulogy. Hey, why not though? Declan Kruger would definitely want to do his own eulogy. Who wouldn't though, when you think about it? Right? Because honestly, it's kind of sad in a way that when someone dies, that's when people they say all these really nice things about them. They normally don't say them to their face when they're alive. So if they're true, it's good. All right. We'll take a break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oil Kings Hockey takes to the ice at Rogers Place for the final regular season game this Sunday.
It's the Team Awards game. See who scores the hardware pregame for Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, MVP, and more.
With all the family fun Sunday face painting, bouncy castles, and Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Plus a post-game autograph session.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Calgary Hitman. Team Awards game, 4 p.m. Sunday.
The final home game this season at Rogers Place before playoff action kicks off, starting at $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
This is your moment to come on down and play for your chance to win over $300,000 in prizes. That's not all. Buy more, save more on select major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Save up to 40% on select mattresses and up to 25% on furniture. Plus, this Saturday, play for up to $1,000 off your purchase. Everyone who plays is a winner. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, the Home and Garden Show returns to the Edmonton Expo Center March 26th through 29th. Know who's going to be there? Metal Supermarkets. Visit their booth and learn all about their huge selection of metal and metal processing. Those spring projects for your home, garage, and garden? Why go with wood when metal lasts forever? Plus, they'll be giving out free samples.
Tastes metally.
Yeah, on second thought, maybe not. Your local convenience stores for metalsupermarkets.com. For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
For 50 years, the Selby Group has been building trusted homes and strong communities. This year, we're celebrating that milestone with special events and anniversary promotions you won't want to miss. Discover Hillshire by Selby Group, beautifully designed homes in a community built for the way you live today. And coming this spring, move-in ready spec homes will be available. Your new home is waiting. Celebrate 50 years of Selby Group at Hillshire. Visit salvygroup.com or stop by Hillshire today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday rolls through. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. The Gregor Show always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, $50 million up for grabs in Lotto Max and 2 Max Millions at PlayAlberta.ca. Time now for our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, state-of-the-art facility just south of Edmonton. 2 sheets of ice, 1,600-seat arena. It's a great place for curling, concerts, hockey, and you can eat. Very good restaurant at Summit Restaurant. Check it out, Silent Ice Center, as we are joined by a former NHL GM and scout, ace analyst and scout now for TSN. Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
I am doing really, really well. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm pretty good. Hey, would you ever want to record your eulogy and play it at your own funeral?
Okay, so here's something I'll share with you and all the listeners.
Yeah.
Every year at daylight savings time, I record a video that I want played at my funeral or wake. I'm not having a funeral, whatever you want to have, celebration of life, whatever. And I try to keep it updated every year, and it's a video, and I try to keep it to 8 minutes, and just let people know how I feel about them, and try to update it every year. So I've been doing that for I'm going to say 15 years now.
Really? So who do you send it to?
But it's in a file where my wife will be able to grab it. She knows where it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But they can't look at it. They're always curious about what it is. But I have it under very strict, and there's only one way they can get to it is with the security code.
Okay.
That only a handful of people have, and so they'll be able to get it to her. And I have to switch it around depending on to make sure that that you can get there.
Okay, I like that. That's good. So, smart. Well, what made you come up with that idea?
Well, sometimes here's really what got me to the genesis of it. It's that if something happens suddenly and you don't have a chance to tell people what they meant to you and your loved ones and your friends, right? I just wanted to be able to have something where I can say to that to let them know, hey, here's where I feel. Here's how lucky I've been in my life, and here's people that have been instrumental in it, and I love you all. And while I may not be around anymore, hopefully my presence in your lives is something that's with you forever.
All right. So do you video it or write it?
I video it. I do a little script. Like, trust me, I don't do it all off the cuff. I script it, and then I try to make sure and that it's clean. And I'll be honest, I say no more than 8 minutes. I would say it's probably somewhere around 6, the last one I did.
Okay.
And I want it to be a little bit funny too.
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
It's more poking fun at myself. It's not poking fun at anybody. It's poking fun at myself, so everybody can laugh and go, I remember that.
All right. Okay. I like that. So you do it every year.
Daylight savings time.
Okay. Okay. So you'll be voting against not changing daylight savings time. No.
You know what? That'll be interesting. Well, I'll just get on Saskatchewan. Like whenever they switch, I'll do it on Saskatchewan time.
Well, do they switch? I don't know if they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't. So you just stick with it.
Okay, so whoever doesn't switch or whoever switches, I'll whatever.
You just say March 1st. You could do that too. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I could do that. Right? I proposed to my wife with a poem on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. Maybe I should just do it on March 17th.
Oh yeah, you won't forget it. I like that. Nice. Yeah. Now, speaking of change,
so many things you don't know about.
No, it's true, Buds. I like it. I like that a lot. It's a good idea.
Thanks.
For my mom's, we kind of did like a live eulogy for my mom on her 75th. And we got everybody in the family around the garage and, her grandkids and everybody just told her, what they meant to her. And she said it was like the best birthday gift she's ever had. So, because, people probably think that they're like, I think I made an impression on them. But, the grandkids and kids, obviously had something that was different and meaningful. So that was pretty good. So that was,
it changes too. Nice. I have 2 grandchildren now.
Oh, yeah.
So so 5 years ago, it's not the same, right? Yeah. And you have new people and everything that goes with it. And Jason, I'll say this to you. I know every year you send it to me, what you wrote about your father. And, I lost my father 30 years ago this summer. And, I never, there's not any day I don't think about him. And, what you write about your dad is so special. It means a lot to me. So I think I told you that, but it bears repeating.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Now let's get to some hockey talk, Craig. And Like I know some people believe, hey, you know what, you take the personality of your coach. I don't necessarily believe that. I look at Toronto, I look at Philly, I look at Washington, at Vancouver when they had Talkin and now Berube. That doesn't always work. Paul Maurice was in Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets didn't have the toughness and arrogance that Florida has now. I think your coach can have a little bit, but it's really on the players. And I look at last night and the Edmonton Oilers, Florida's banged up, but still, all their guys who sat out in Vancouver, they all magically were good enough to play against Edmonton. And the game meant something. You got, Kachuk saying, yeah, we come back and there's all these great memories and big wins. And I'm just like, the Edmonton Oilers come out. And the one thing I didn't like that the coach did, I would have started, you have Kachuk and Bennett. They're starting. I'm starting Frederick, I'm starting Jones, and I'm starting Podkolzin. I'm starting Nurse and Murphy. And I don't care about fighting. I'm just saying, guys, we're going to push back. Because the Florida Panthers have not only beaten you in the area that matters most, the Stanley Cup Finals, but they're wearing like Oilers suck buttons and mocking your captains. Like I just felt like there's no pushback, and it bothered me. Am I off my rocker here?
No, not one bit, Jason. And I think that, and it's not like they beat you 5 years ago. It's fresh. Like and I think Matthew Tkachuk, I'll paraphrase him. I think he said, we got lots of respect for the Oilers, but lots of dislike and lots of things that we really enjoy having gone through it, right? Well, they're coming in telling you, they dislike you, they respect you, but you know what? They're taking what you want, and they're not ready to give it back to you. So when are you going to stand up and say enough of it? And I think that becomes it. I don't think, what are we going to say, that Chris Knobloch, you got the Oilers within one win of a Stanley Cup, within 2 wins of a Stanley Cup in back-to-back years. Like, you don't want that? Listen, every coach has a shelf life. Okay, every coach has an expiry date, and I don't think that Chris has that's a ride for Chris here. But to your point, and this is, so much was made, and I'm not here to pick on anybody or single them up, but that whole big Connor McDavid, enough is enough. Like, when are we going to stand up and do it? Right? Like, okay, I get it. Like, that's the Stanley Cup final. But you know what? Last night mattered. And here's the biggest thing that I would say, Jason, and this is where leadership, you don't know over the course of a season what game has a lot more meaning than any other game. And that's where leadership saying, we're not laying down here tonight and we're showing up, and anybody that's not ready to go, don't put on your equipment. And the Oilers, they didn't have that in them last night.
No. Like, their work ethic was there, but it wasn't like an aggressive work ethic. It was just like, you know what? Hey, other than Max Jones was hitting everything that moved. And that's a bit guy who's like, hey, I got to stay in the NHL. So good on him. But it's just, and to me, it's got to come from your leaders. And like Darnell Nurse, to me, is the one guy in the team. Like, I don't expect Connor McDavid to be fighting. Barkov, look at Florida. They're a real aggressive team. Barkov's not the ringleader there. He's the ringleader in what he does best. So McDavid can do that. Darnell Nurse should be the ringleader of aggressiveness and on-ice arrogance, and he has none of it. And I don't understand where, like, I can't remember the last time, Craig, an opposing team got mad at the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, and that's I think right there is a distinction, right? And what are you going to stand up for right now? I'll be straightforward with you. I see the same thing, and I mean, I know they have a Stanley Cup and a couple of years ago, but I'm seeing the same thing from the Vegas Golden Knights. Buffalo rolls in there, whips them. Utah rolls in there, and here's what I hear. Well, we did everything but score, and I heard that last night in Edmonton. It's not about scoring, boys. It's not about scoring anymore. You know when a boxer gets in the ring and he might take a few blows and they score it in favor of one boxer over the other, and the one boxer may have taken a little bit more blows. It just because you took more blows doesn't mean you lost. But and conversely, you might lose the overall bout, but you can win a round and you can win 2 rounds. And that's what you got to do. And I don't really, hockey is not going to change in its fundamental areas. The battles on the boards, the one-on-one puck battles in front of the net. It's like football, Jason. Like, if you can't play hard at the line of scrimmage, I don't care what else you can't win. And you got to play hard, and you got to just say, hey, listen, we're taking it to task. I was lucky to be around some really, really good teams. And I think about a guy like, and listen, Connor McDavid is a great leader. I have no issues with Connor McDavid. But, Jerome McGinley was a great leader. But Robin Regier, like, I used to laugh, okay? Because, when guys used to, take a run at Alashemsky, like, everybody was coming to his defense. Except when Robin Regier ran them, everybody was looking at their skates to make sure they were tied up properly. Because nobody was going to go ahead. And that told me everything I needed to know, because I knew Robin Regier had the attention. And until somebody was going to stand up to Robin Regier, it didn't matter what else you were going to do.
Yeah. So it's an element that...
I agree, Jason. I agree.
So I think it's something that's always kind of lacked. And you can get a new coach. I don't think the coach can instill that. He's not on the ice, right? Like, you can't say, guy, I need you to fight. Because it's not even about fighting. But as I look at Craig Berube, you don't think Craig Berube has conversations with the guy, hey, we got to play the right way and we got to do all this. And, they had to have Gudis knee Matthews and nothing response for Morgan Riley to fight a guy finally after a hit. So I don't believe coaches can do it. I think this has got to come from your leadership and your core group, and maybe they just don't have guys to do it. And maybe Stan Bowman's got to go out there and find a good player who understands that. Like Corey Perry, he would have a timely fight to try to, augment the energy of the team. And I think that's important, but you need a guy who plays that way constantly. And at his age, he just can't do it. Right. Like, so they got to find some guys, maybe Pod Coles and somebody to talk to guys to say, this is an element that we lack. And my question is, Craig, I wonder if the organization values it or not.
Well, that's a good question right there. Right. And so you talk about Corey Perry and Corey Perry had it. And I'm going to quote Craig McTavish. Craig McTavish calls it gamesmanship. And either you have it or you don't. And understanding what gamesmanship is about, standing up and saying, we might not win this game and we might be overwhelmed, but if you think you're coming into our building, you won the Stanley Cup in like last year, and you won it the year before, and you're not coming into our building here in March, and we're not going to stand up to you. I remember years ago, and it was in the 80s, and the Washington Capitals were a really, really good team. They were one of the best teams in the league. They were playing Edmonton, and Bobby Gould was the checker for Washington.
I remember.
Anyway,
yeah,
really hard-nosed good player. The game was a one-goal game. Edmonton scores with like 6 minutes left. Bobby Gould's been checking Mark Messier all night long, and Bobby was a hard competitor. He wasn't going to go away. Anyway, the next face-off, it's 4-2 for the Oilers, if I recall correctly. Messier grabs Bobby Gould and he tussles him and beats him up and goes on. And years later, Messier said, "No, Bobby Gould was hard." He goes, "I wasn't sending a message to Bobby Gould. I was sending a message to 85% of the players to tell them, you want to come near me? Stay away. The 15% were never going to go away. The 85, I was sending a message to the 85%. Try it if you want."
Yep.
That's gamesmanship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Darnell Nurse has to take one run at somebody, take one run hard, 2 runs hard, and a cross check, like right in the middle of the back on Sam Bennett in front of the net early on. Not happening tonight, mister.
And the worst part was Greer delivered a pretty dangerous hit to Nurse, and he did nothing. The rest of the game didn't even get in his face. And I'm kind of like, how are you guys just allowing the Florida Panthers to run your show? Because that's what it looked like.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like somebody coming into your house and going, "Well, I'm going to dim the lights, right? I'm going to turn up the music." Well, we don't like music. Well, I don't care. Where's the music we're playing? Hey, where's your where's your beer? Yeah, no, you're not having any. It's for us. That's what they're doing. I remember when we were going in to the Stanley Cup final in '99, and Bob Gainey gave a real quick speech to the team. He said, "Up to this point in time, this franchise has been nothing. It's been a game on the schedule. Teams have come in. They've taken 2 points. They've come in. They've had a nice night in your city, drank your beer, taken 2 points, and left." He goes, "You guys decide how you want to be remembered," and walked out. I think that's the message. Now, again, you have to have the players.
Yes.
When I hear Craig McTavish talk about gamesmanship, he's talking exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So and I think at times in previous years they've had it, but this year they just don't have it. They also don't have the consistency to show up for 3 games in a row. Like they played really well in Vegas and Colorado, laid an egg in Dallas. Played really well their last 2 games, And I don't think competed hard enough to who the opposition was. And they've been outscored 47-26 in the 12 games when they're trying to get a 3-game winning streak. They're 1-9-2. So it's clearly not good enough. And now they got Kucherov, Craig, and I got to get to him. 95 points in his last 45 games. Ridiculous pace that he's on. Like, he's put himself right at the top of the Hart Trophy race.
I don't think there's any question. And, I was saying this about, Connor McDavid's a brilliant player, and he's right there in the Hart Trophy conversation and everything. But when you watch Kucherov, and I think that when you talk about most valuable player to their team, and this is what Kucherov does. He turns the game to his liking and to his team's favor. and it doesn't matter who he's playing against or what he's up against. I don't know if you saw his quote. There was a quote he had the other day where he says, I know what every defenseman does in the league. I know what they're comfortable with. I know what they're not comfortable with because I watch video. This guy's wired. So back to that mentality, right? Yeah. You know what he's wired to do? He's wired to beat your ass. He does it in a different way, but that's being wired at a different level. And that's what he is. That, to me, is what's made Sidney Crosby one of the greatest players of all time. He's not coming to play. He's coming to beat your ass. Yeah. And he might do it with a smile. And, players do it in different ways. But Nick Lidstrom was like that. Nick Lidstrom was like, here's what I'm here for. Good. And I know players that played, talked about playing against Nick. It was like Scott Niedermayer. You think you're going to get the advantage on him. You're going, oh, geez, I thought I had the advantage, and then he was gone, and the puck was off my stick, and I couldn't hit him. And I think that's exactly what Kucherov has. The great ones have that ability. The game's going in my favor, and by extension, my team's favor. And I'm not here to get points. I'm here to beat your ass, and they're going to get their points.
Craig Button from TSN joins us. Craig, it's quite the race, really, in both conferences. I know the Pacific Division, the Pacific Division's an outlier. Everybody's freaking out. Oh, we got to change. I never a believer in change the rules because of 1 year. This is a clear outlier. And you know what, though? We've seen the lowest team in the playoffs, in other years be 10-point difference where it's the West. I do find that the chatter gets a lot louder in the East when it doesn't benefit them, but that it was crickets the last few years when they only had 91 points and the Calgary Flames were missing the playoffs with 96 and et cetera, et cetera. But you look at this year and you got the Red Wings and the Canadians and the Penguins and the Blue Jackets who are unreal on fire right now, and the Islanders. And Ottawa staved off, I think, elimination with that Brady Tkachuk goal last night. But if you look at those teams, Craig, and Montreal and Boston and Detroit and the Islanders, my question is, do you think any of them are real playoff contenders where you'd look and say, man, I think any one of them could beat the Edmonton Oilers, for instance?
Oh, Edmonton's different, right? Again, when we see Edmonton play at the level, at near their best level, they're a hard team to beat, Jason. And you nailed it. It's about finding that consistency. It's about saying, hey, this is how we're going to play, and we're going to be comfortable with it. And so what I see in all those teams that you just mentioned is I see teams that have flaws. And there's no perfect team in the league. No. But when I say flaws, I'm talking about flaws that cannot give me any confidence that I could call them a serious contender. Buffalo has flaws. I know they've been on this unbelievable run, but I still think that the class of the East is Tampa Bay and Carolina. I'll be shocked if they're not in the conference final. That's how I see it. And, I know Buffalo's had a great run, and we have these great races in the playoffs. I don't think those teams are good enough. And so when you ask me specifically about Edmonton, I'll just stay on Edmonton here. Edmonton, 2 years. I know the roster's different, and certain different players are there now that weren't there in the past. But this is a team that they have a group of players that understand what the details and the demands are. And maybe they're bored. Maybe they need a little jolt in a different. Maybe the jolt is a first round loss in the playoffs. I don't know. But those other teams, I still think that they're teams that have they have work to do for me to put them in a serious contender group.
Yeah, Carolina, to me, I don't even have them because they're the same team I've seen every year from Carolina. And right now their goaltending concerns me a lot, but they don't have a game breaker. So could they win a few rounds? Yes, but whoever comes out, if it's Tampa Bay or even Buffalo, I'd probably pick them ahead. But yeah, Tampa Bay to me looks like an absolute wagon. especially when they get guys healthy for the playoffs. Out in the West, though, Craig, there's Colorado, there's Dallas, there's Minnesota, there's Edmonton. Vegas is, they got some problems just like Edmonton. Then there's the young upstart Ducks, who I think are probably, a few years away from being a real contender. But Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas, and that race for first place, which determines who plays Minnesota, I really think Colorado needs to finish first, because I just think Minnesota is a tough, bad matchup for them. Big, heavy forward group against a smaller defense core.
I 100% agree with you, Jason. I see Minnesota as the real speed bump for whoever finishes in third, whoever finishes in second spot. I think Dallas knows it. I think Colorado knows it. And I said this earlier in the week, just watching Colorado, I'm not conceding the division to Colorado. No. And, and listen, they have a lot of things in order in their game, but so does Dallas. And Dallas goes into Colorado. Ottinger was excellent. He really played well. Make no mistake about it. And Wedgwood was good too. But that was without Hintz and without Rantanen. The Colorado Avalanche are missing nobody, and they had this huge lead. And I'll tell you what I'm concerned with Colorado if they finish second. Boston, 2023.
First round exit. Big season.
Well, the hungry team, and Minnesota's hungry, and Minnesota will be the underdog, and Colorado's had this great, fantastic season, and fall off at the end, get into second place, and I believe that Minnesota will be just licking their chops. Yeah,
I think Minnesota is definitely a tough out. Just the matchup, big, heavy team. I know they don't have the center skill, and now Colorado, obviously they want some guys back, but. I don't know how much Landeskog isn't the Landeskog when they won the cup, right?
No,
he's a good player now, but he's not, he's not Rupe Hintz and he's not Rantanen, that's for certain. So, lastly, the Nashville Predators, the LA Kings, the Seattle Kraken, the Sharks are all within a point. Who do you like to grab that final wild card spot in the West, and why?
Okay, so I don't like Seattle because they're going on the road and they have a tough time scoring, and so I'm eliminating Seattle right now. Okay. Nashville, because their goaltending is so good, and Hugh Saros went into Winnipeg, and they won the game in Winnipeg the other night in the shootout because of Hugh Saros. He was that good. He was just brilliant, and they found a level of play that's really good, and they've been a good team since December. They've been a good team since December. Now, the San Jose story is great. The Shark Tank's alive again. Celebrini, it's been really good. I think it's between LA and Nashville. That's where I see it coming down to. I think LA has a little bit of an easier path in terms of their competition and literally the road ahead. So that's where I see it coming down to, Nashville and LA for that last playoff spot. We haven't mentioned Utah, but Utah goes in and they beat up Vegas pretty good. And they're a team that's feeling it. They're a team that's feeling it, man. They're not going to be, they're going to be a wild card team. They'll be the first wild card. So they're going to play probably over in the Pacific, right?
Yes.
So they're going to play the top team in the Pacific. I don't know if finishing first in the Pacific is a favorable matchup to go play Utah.
No, I was kind of joking. You'd almost rather finish second because, Utah. If you're Edmonton, you're like, hey, would I play Vegas or Utah or Anaheim or Utah? You'd probably argue right now. Utah doesn't have a ton of experience, but they got a lot of pieces. I like McBain. I like they got a mixture of skill and size. I still wonder if their top six has enough size in it. We'll see. But they definitely have a ton of skill. Gunther can really score. But I think that's the guy. Like, if I had to pick somebody who's never scored 50 to score 50, he would be my pick.
No, I totally agree with you. And Dylan, and you watched him with the Oil Kings. You know him very, very well, and I've watched him for a long time. The thing about Dylan is that Dylan doesn't he's got such an accurate release. He's got such a heavy release. He arrives in the right spot, and he doesn't give goaltenders a chance to get set. And you watch him play, and you get to the playoffs. And one of the things we talked about, how space is a little bit more to premium, how you get a little less time, right? But Dylan doesn't rely on tons of space and tons of time. because his timing and his understanding of where to be in that space is so superb. I agree with you. He'll be on the 28 Canada team in the whatever they're going to call it, the World Cup or whatever what it's going to be. And you start to think about, people talk about how will the team look. Well, I don't know, Bedard playing on the right wing, Gunther playing on the right wing. I like Canada's chances moving forward, because those are the two guys that I think that haven't scored 50 to the young guys that will score 50.
Yeah. Another guy is American, though, Cutter Gauthier.
Oh, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's
And
really.
let me tell you this, Philadelphia messed that up good.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, they look back at that one. That's the, you'd love to find out the real details of what the hell went on there, because.
Yeah, you would, but you can't, whatever the real details, but again, you draft a guy 5th overall.
Yeah.
He's big, he's strong, he can skate, he can score, and you start to consider the Flyers had him. And I mean, that's one of those ones internally you have to examine. How did this get away from us? Because you can blame the player. Ultimately, it's on the franchise. You drafted the right guy. What could have you done to make sure it didn't happen? If they don't do that, then they run the risk of making another mistake.
Yeah, very true. Craig, have yourself an awesome weekend, and we will chat with you next Friday.
Thank you, Jason. You have a good weekend, too.
There you go. That is Craig Button from TSN. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got 5 questions, Mark Spector, and more when we return on Sports 14.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrion's weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard.
celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. You got a few minutes left, baby, and then you're free for the weekend. Hope you got fun plans. Weather looks all right. Lots of sports going on, of course. We're a week away from first pitch in Major League Baseball regular season already. Next Friday, that'll be good. Of course, and we'll be closer to the NHL playoffs as we're down to the final 14, 13 games, depending on the team, and way we rock and roll. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get involved in the NBA, NHL in action, and get your tickets. Lotto Max, $50 million and 2 Max Millions at PlayAlberta.ca. It's time to get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where right now, Price is Right Live is on. Mattresses, sofas, big screen TVs, appliances. You can get over $300,000 in prizes to be won. So stop in and win at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, I think it's safe to say the Oilers will make the playoffs. But when you look at this team right now, how many rounds do you think they can realistically win once they get there?
Oh, man. Realistically, probably 2, because I don't think the division's that hard. So would I be shocked if the Oilers were in the conference final? No. But they've got to show more. Like, Vegas is struggling. Anaheim is doing okay. You know, Utah's playing pretty well. But the only time you face them, I guess if they the second wild card, they're automatically in the Pacific, so that would be it. And those are probably the teams. Like, whoever finishes, whether it's Seattle or LA, if they get that final wild card spot, where they're going to be in the other division. Which, by the way, I still don't like. If it's 4-4, there should never be a crossover. I don't care if the 7th team has more points. It doesn't matter to me. You want to promote divisions, that's what I would do. They're not going to do it, but that's what I would do. But I could say realistically 2.
Yeah, that's probably the extent I'd go as well. I just think that Central Division, whoever comes out of it, like, maybe they wear each other down, but they're going to be a really good battle-tested team. So 2 tops, I might go closer to 1, just with the inconsistency and what we've seen this year. Question number 2, official prediction with the Oilers and Lightning meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, well, I can't see the Oilers beating them, so I'll take Tampa Bay.
I'm with you. I'm going to say 4-2 Tampa. Now, with that, we get McDavid, Kucherov. Are they your top 2 players in the world right now? And if so, who rounds out the top 5?
Yeah, well, the way Kuch is being the best player right now. For him, McDavid, McKinnon's in there. Draisaitl's in there. Who is 5th? I might probably I'll throw a D-man in. I might go this year. I'll probably throw in Werenski.
Yeah, hard to argue your top 4. It feels a little premature, but I love Malcolm Celebrini and what he's been able to do, being 50 points ahead of your next teammate.
That's actually a good one.
Like, he's just been unbelievable. So he would be in my top 5. Question number 4 for you today. We've got March Madness full swing. Do you prefer like one and done playoff games, or do you like the series when we're in the postseason?
Well, I think it's unique for March Madness. You couldn't have a 7-game series because it's going to take way too long, right? There's too many teams. You'd probably eliminate it, so it wouldn't be as good for that level, right? Like, they're not pros. I know they got nailed, they got make, but they're not pros. I love a series in pro. I don't love a one game. Like, thankfully, the wild card's not a one game anymore. I don't like that. Like, I don't love the play-in game, to be honest. I think it's kind of hokey, right? A lot of times you got teams who aren't even 500 teams in the NBA, so I don't love it. But I definitely, I like March Madness for what it is. And football, obviously, is going to be a one-game sport. And the rest, though, I like series.
Yeah, I like the rivalry that builds in a series. I think action-wise and obviously business-wise, you get the revenue, you get all those extra games that make sense. But there's something about that one-off win. You got one opportunity. You can't have a bad game. I like that as well. So I kind of like the one and you're done model, but I understand, obviously, why for different sports you do different things. Final question today is International Day of Happiness. Give me a thing or two that immediately will make your day better.
Go ahead.
I experienced this 2 weeks ago. Filled up a gas tank. I think I paid $1.08, and then drove past the same gas station the next day. It went up 28 cents. So that always makes my day a little bit better when I get that. And then just hitting a couple lights on the way in. You know, you're rolling, you know, music's playing good and you just don't have to stop. Hitting a couple lights on the way to work is a good way for me to just feel a little bit better heading in.
Easy one for me when I come home from work. Doesn't matter if I come home from somewhere. My son, even though he's 12, always runs over and gives me a hug. Number one thing for sure. That and my dog Mabel. How she welcomes anybody home in the house. It's like it's the greatest time of her life, and it's impossible not to feel good. So, we should if humans had a tail, it'd probably be good. You know, you see your tail wagging, and you know it's just I don't know. There's something about it. Anybody who has a pet probably knows. Well, dog anyway. Cat probably not, but or cows. They never really look that excited. They would run when you grain fed them, but not the same thing. So I'll say the dog, but my son's a big hugger, and it's always good.
I like that one.
Never have to ask, nothing like that. So it's great.
On the topic of dogs, have you seen Slater's new dog, Griffey?
Oh, yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bradley loves that dog. It's good. You know, there's something about, I've had numerous dogs in our life at different times. And, you know, the dog we have right now might be like the friendliest dog, like very much. She loves being around people. Like I had Blue at the farm and I love that dog because she helped so much. Like was ridiculously good. And, you know, Mabel's just like a cuddle dog, but she's always super excited, comes around. But it's more so like I've never seen a dog as motivated for food as she is. And she's not even a big dog, but like every day, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I could be like stealth trying to break into the kitchen as quiet as I can. And the minute she hears anybody in the kitchen, it's like, comes over, just waiting, like hoping there'll be a crumb. Always makes me laugh. I'm like, God, like I should be that persistent in life. You like be really good at something. Just doesn't matter every day. Whoa, oh, is there a noise over there? Is that a bag opening? Even though we don't feed, like I get her dog food. We don't feed her a lot of food every now and then. Like I put a little bit of you know, once a week or something, some chicken fat or something on her food, just a little bit, right? She loves it, but it doesn't matter. Every time you're in the kitchen, I could go in the kitchen literally to get a glass of water. She's there. Heard the fridge open or something. No, there's a chance. So I like the dedication to it. It's nice. You have a dog yet?
No. If we do, it would definitely be a little one.
Yeah, I'm not. I love big dogs outside at the farm.
Yeah.
Not a big, and I know some people, no, unless it's, you have one of those, like my friend has a Great Dane. And so it has a Mastiff, and there's like they don't really do much, right? So it's kind of funny. Like they're like dog hates going for a walk or something, but so those type of dogs, I guess maybe. But I always chuckle. I'm like, dude, like you should see, you know, he needs like a double. He needs a dog bag in each hand just to get one. Like that's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. So I don't like that. Wouldn't want it at all. When we come back, Mark Spector will join us. Some lineup changes for the Oilers. Good news, bad news. One's coming in, someone's going out. One's coming off an injury. Now there's another injury for the Oilers. So a little bit of depth up front starting to be exposed a little bit. We'll get to that and more. But first, it's Conman Sports 1440 Update brought to you by Northgate Buick Chevrolet GMC. You should check out this weekend. Check out their new Autoplex. Ooh, what a facility, man. It's awesome. The Corvettes are in there. Oh, who doesn't like control? You know what? There's just something about certain cars when you get to take it for a test drive. Pretty sweet. So check it out, and you'll just get a great deal. No added crazy bonuses, just a really good, honest deal. NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Leafs, Canes getting going shortly. As are the Capitals and Devils at 6:30. Avs in Chicago. Then you got the Flames and the Panthers with the Ducks in Utah. In the association, Raptors taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off just after 7 o'clock from Ball Arena. Elsewhere, Timberwolves meet the Trailblazers. Celtics in Memphis. Pistons host the Warriors. And then the Knicks taking on the Nets. March Madness Day 2. Right now, just one game going on. Number 9, Iowa leading Clemson 15-6. Later on, you got Northern Iowa and St. John's. UCLA meets UCF, number 2 seed. Purdue hosting Queens, and Prairie View A&M taking on Florida. Earlier today, number 2 Iowa State advancing past Tennessee State 108-74. Other winners include Alabama, Tennessee, Utah State, Arizona, Virginia, Texas Tech, and Kentucky. In the WHL, the Oil Kings on the road in Lethbridge taking on the Hurricanes. Puck drop at 7. They'll host Calgary 4 o'clock on Sunday. In the BCHL, Saints head to Salmon Arm, while the Crusaders are in Trail. Both games starting at 8 o'clock. And in the AJ, playoffs kicking off tonight. Camrose and Calgary. Storm hosting the Bobcats. Camrose taking on Drumheller and Whitecourt, welcoming Fort Mac to town. And in the NFL, Philadelphia Eagles sending Canadian safety Sidney Brown to the Atlanta Falcons. Teams also swapping 4th and 6th round draft picks in the 2026 draft. Brown was originally selected 3rd round by the Eagles in 2023 and won a Super Bowl with the team in 2025. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, Alan Mitchell, host of the Lowdown with Lowtide, and we'll hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Oil Kings hockey takes to the ice at Rogers Place for the final regular season game this Sunday.
It's the Team Awards game. See who scores the hardware pregame for Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, MVP, and more.
With all the family fun Sunday face painting, bouncy castles, and Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Plus a post-game autograph session.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Calgary Hitmen. Team Awards game, 4 p.m. Sunday.
The final home game this season at Rogers Place before playoff action kicks off, starting at $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just West Ave and 118th.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's their greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on tonight in the National Hockey League. Unlike last night, there are some games that do have playoff implications. The Hurricanes trying to move ahead of Buffalo in the Eastern Conference for first place. They are taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are playing out the string. The Avalanche in Chicago, that's their game in hand to try to get 4 points up on the Dallas Stars. The Ducks and Utah, a potential first-round matchup. If the Ducks win the division, they'll play Utah. Utah looks like they're going to finish in the number one wildcard spot, which would mean they would take on the winner of the Pacific Division. So get to all that and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. $50 million for you tonight and 2 max millions. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. While you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost to get some other specials if you like little Oilers Lightning, and we'll add some more player ones over the weekend as well. Speaking of Oilers players, some changes, injuries again. One guy's out, one guy is in. We'll get to that in the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. For over 50 years, they're proud to serve the communities and work alongside incredible people. Every member of their team has their own story. You can check out their stories, gsconstruction.ca/resources. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing, my man? I don't know. Is he there? We'll see. I can see a Spec, but I can't hear a word you're saying. So we'll try to get to... Did you mute yourself, Spec? We'll see. You guys figured out over there. He hadn't looked bad. That was probably the best thing he's ever said on the show. But none of us heard it. So that's disappointing for Spec. So that was the highlight right there. I'm not sure the rest of the interview is going to get any better. He had I could just see how confident he was in his delivery, that it was going to be very good. But alas, we didn't hear it. So we got a lot of texts while we reconnect with Spec. Guys, listen to you and Button. Do you wonder if the organization feels the same way? Think the owner would ask those questions? Do you think it's an issue come playoff time? Well, it's an issue come playoff time if they don't find the level of emotion necessary. You like the owners worked hard. They skated fine, all that. I didn't see them losing tons of battles, anything like that. But I don't think their fiery effort was there. I don't think that part was good. Spec's back with us now. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, that's a little bit better. How about that?
Hey, I'm good, buddy. Yeah, I know. It was the greatest thing you ever said, and no one heard it. So,
well, I'm not saying it again.
Yeah. What was your assessment of last night? How the team played, what the coach thought, and to me, like my biggest concern was, I at some point, don't you have to step up against the team that's beaten you twice and has publicly kind of embarrassed you with pins? Oilers suck, and chance the players suck, and all this stuff. And last night, nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I wrote as such, if nothing else, and there's a lot of else, like 2 cup wins, hell, Florida hasn't lost a regular season game in regulation here since Rexall Place, right? They're like 8-0-3 here in their last 11 games. It goes back to 2013. So there's that. And then there's the fact that the guy who's out for you, Leon Draisaitl, the Tkachuk brothers were embarrassing him over in Milan. I would think there's plenty of reason that this Oilers team should have had way more juice, way more jump, way more stick up for themselves and each other, way more of everything. Yeah, I'm absolutely in agreement. And we went back to the well again today and talked to some players about it, a couple guys. And, no one really has any great answers for why they didn't have the juice last night, Jake.
Yeah, Mike. So you better find it come playoff time, or you won't be having a long playoff run. I can tell you that for sure. The only saving grace is they don't have to meet the Panthers in the playoffs this year. But the Panthers aren't the only team that plays aggressive, so you'll have to figure out a way to be just more aggressive. Like, you know what? They came out, and I wasn't really their effort was fine. The one thing I didn't like from the coach, I did not like his starting lineup. You had an opportunity that you can't ask guys to fight or anything, but you can do things as a coach to hopefully stir some emotion, right? And you know what? They started Tkachuk and Bennett. They basically just said, here's our guys, and you start like, I don't expect McDavid to fight or be, that's not what I want from him. No one in Florida expects Barkov to do it. I don't expect McDavid to do it. But I don't even expect anyone to fight. But Frederick Jones and Podkolzin, Nurse and Murphy. That's why I start. Say, boys, we're out here. We are pushing them back. We're punching them in the mouth, and let's go. Because look, Spec, it's 3-0. Look who he started to start the third period. Oh, Max Jones, one of the few guys who was engaged. He runs in, huge hit, hammers Ekblad, turnover, good shot in front of the net. Crowd gets into it. Imagine if you would have done that 2 periods earlier. Like, it's just, I didn't like that at all from the head coach. It's like, oh, we need 2 points. No, sometimes you can get 2 points, but you can also get a little bit of a message at the same time.
Well, I think we know that there's a certain way to play Florida. And, I thought that, frankly, the Oilers, if they played straight hockey and they should be a better team with the injuries Florida has. But within 3 shifts of that game, that Samoskevich came in and drilled Stastny with a really good hit behind the net. And then Greer pounded Nurse with an excellent check. And, you're on the coach for the first shift, and I'll give you that. I'm on the rest of the team for watching those 2 hits and not reacting properly. Like, this is Edmonton's version of Matthews getting kicked out of the game and everyone's sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah.
Like, I think with Florida, if they haven't learned by now, if you don't go back at Florida, with what they're bringing to you, they just run you over. They've been running this team over here for years. Look at Tampa. They ran Tampa over, and Tampa said, okay, enough of this. We're going to get a little tougher, and we're going to push back. And Tampa has some epic battles now with Florida. In fact, they're a better team. So you can get on the coach, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but that's a veteran bench filled with veteran guys who've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody responded in any way to those early hits. They just kind of played a tepid game, and they got what they deserved. They got embarrassed.
Yeah, and that's totally valid. Like I said it earlier, like when I look at the good teams over time in history, and you have, obviously you need skill. There's no question you need skill first. But there's a lot of toughness and aggressiveness at different levels in different eras of hockey. And if you just want to look at the Oilers, when they were winning, you had Gretz, but your skilled guys, Mark Messier was mean, and Glenn Anderson was cheap and dirty, and Kevin Lowe was highly aggressive and bordered on cheap at times with his stick. And, Esa Tikkanen would run around and, would give a woodpecker a headache, right? Like they had different ways to do it. Darnell Nurse should be that guy for the Oilers. It's not Bouchard. It's not Draisaitl. It's not McDavid. That's not them, right? It's Nurse. And so Greer hits you and you do nothing. You're the one guy who can stand up for himself. And you don't do anything the rest of the game. And just I said it earlier, Spec, and I asked the question. And you know what? Our audience, everybody's got a good memory. No one could remember the last time the Oilers pissed off the opposition, right? Like the Oilers will react right? And they'll stand up for themselves sometimes, not all the time. But last night I couldn't believe you're in a game like this and Nurse just took that hit. It was kind of a cheap shot and then did nothing the rest of the game.
Yeah, I didn't mind the hit. I liked the hit. It was aggressive and hard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bordering on too late. So what? But no, listen, it's not been their makeup. It's not been in their DNA. They're not that team. And as such, and I've groused about this many times, they kind of only have one way, to switch momentum when it's not going their way. They don't have a lot of options when the game's not going their way. Some teams get a fight. Some teams get a big hit. Some teams get a guy that gets in the face of the other team's best players and gets them off their game. Edmonton doesn't have any of that, and they haven't had any of that for years. Their way of switching the game and switching the momentum is to go score a goal. That's their way. So as such, it falls on a select few guys. It falls on the top guys of the game, the McDavids, the Draisaitl's, and here we are in this vortex we live in here of every time something needs doing around here, it's up to 29-97 to do it. And they haven't built a team with those guys, and they've got a fourth line that generally they've had fourth lines that never play, so they don't get the ice time. And so it's I guess I'd finish by saying, Jay, I think everyone decided last year the difference between Edmonton and Florida was Florida's a better team, right? They were a better team. They had more components. They had more lines. They played off of each other. They had different guys that were all good at different roles. And Edmonton is a damn good team, but Florida's a better team. And I think that's why, because they got more guys doing more different things.
Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Some changes again for the Oilers. Trent Frederick is out. Not sure on a timeline on his injury. Spec, I don't know if you got a sense. Is it short term? Is it long term? What are you hearing?
Not hearing anything from Knobloch. The guys at the practice kind of felt that it might be concussion related. He might have taken a hit, but I didn't see in the game at all what happened to him. I did not see a play where he left the ice feeling slow, where someone drilled him, and I thought, "Ooh, good hit." Did you?
No,
I didn't either.
No.
He was just gone from the bench, right? He was just gone from the bench. So honestly, I don't know for sure what's going on with Frederick. Emberson looks like he's going to play Saturday, which can't hurt.
Oh no, dude! I think honestly, it's been a noticeable drop off from Emberson to Stastny. I think it's fairly noticeable, and the role as a number 6 defenseman. Ty Emberson has filled his role very well, and I think it's actually been a pretty big drop off, and I think he's going to need him to kind of stabilize Wallman.
Well, they've become a one-pair team here. Like the top pair, Ekholm and Bouchard, are good, and their numbers have been good. And below that, it hasn't. Just in last night's game, I looked up the 5-on-5 numbers, Jay. The shot share for Wallman and Stastny was 14%. And for Nurse and Murphy, it was 25% at 5-on-5. And the top pair was like 75%. So, you can't win with one pair going. And Wallman hasn't been good enough all season long. He's just got to raise his game, or that contract next year is going to be a flipping disaster if he plays like this. He hasn't been good enough. He's just not been good enough. There's no hashing around it here. He's got to play better, or he's gonna be Darnell Nurse 2. And Nurse is the same thing. Nurse's game's got to be better. He's supposed to be a good player. We'll start being one every night, not just some nights.
Yeah.
Because right now they got one pair that's any good, and the other two pairs are pretty lousy. And that ain't going to win any playoff series, my friend.
Any sense of who starts in goal tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be Ingram tomorrow.
Okay. So
I'm sure.
Yeah. And that's I kind of said it last time. I thought he was going to be one of those road games that he would get in.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they play Jari against Utah. That's my sense.
Yeah,
he's going to get a road game. I don't think it'll be Vegas. I think it'll be Utah.
Yeah, I could see that. Not a huge surprise if they do that. So, well, Spec, we'll see how the Oilers bounce back. And the other thing is, like Florida, whatever, they didn't play bad. It's the same problem though all year long. 1-9-2 when they look to win 3 games in a row. They've only done it once. They've lost the other 11, and they've been outscored 47-26. Like a lot of the games aren't close, Spec. Like it is their inability to bring that level 3 games in a row has been a problem all year long.
Well, what about the 0-10-2 when McDavid doesn't get a point? That's not a great stat either.
No, it is not.
Dueling crappy stats right there to take into your weekend, buddy.
Yeah, not good at all. Speck, have yourself a great night. We'll see you at the rink tomorrow.
Hey, sounds good, Jay.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Speck Report, brought to you by GS Construction. So Trent Frederick not going to play this weekend. Probably going to be out for a little bit of time here. Really bad timing. I thought Trent Frederick's game, really for the first time in his Edmonton tenure, had started to look like the player you hoped he would be, similar to Boston. I'd still like to be a bit more aggressive, but he'll be out now for at least a short time, and we'll see how long. We'll come back on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
This is your moment to come on down and play for your chance to win over $300,000 in prizes. But that's not all. Buy more, save more on select major appliances. Up to $1,000 off. Save up to 40% on select mattresses and up to 25% on furniture. Plus, this Saturday, play for up to $1,000 off your purchase. Everyone who plays is a winner. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Soul-crushing flurries today with the low of making you cry.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's looking absolutely perfect out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get an all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue and get up to $4,500 cash purchase bonus on select new 2026 Rogue models. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
This ad is presented by the United Conservative Caucus. The new Alberta-Ottawa energy deal will significantly expand Alberta's oil and gas production and create thousands of jobs, thanks to the leadership of Alberta's United Conservative MLAs. The consumer carbon tax is gone. The oil and gas production cap is eliminated, and the net zero electricity regulations are over. Let's keep Alberta strong and free. Visit unitedconservativecaucus.ca/surveys.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Shortbrook Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We'll continue on. Cons, any update, any upsets today yet in the March Madness?
Not really, no. Kind of just
Kind of what we
as we
expected.
predicted, yeah.
Hasn't been many upsets yet. So
Eddie Steele leading the way in our Fantasy Frenzy bracket right now. He won it last year.
It's early. It is early. Does he have a good bracket? Like, who's he got to win?
Duke. Oh, great pick.
Oh, jeez.
Got the scare out of the way yesterday. Showed what they can do. Get rid of the nerves, and TCU's going down.
All of a sudden, Connor Halley, Duke's #1 fan.
I don't even like them. That's the problem.
I know.
I can't get past it.
Soft. We'll see. Jason Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, remember, it's the weekend. Papa John's Pizza. Go to papajohns.ca. I recommend get the meat lovers, and they all meet, and then put ranch instead of tomato sauce. Game changer. And use the Gregor code, get 20% off all time at Papa John's. So we welcome in the host of The Lowdown, noon to 2 weekdays, Sports 1440. Also writes at The Athletic. LT joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to now we're getting the rain and the runoff, and then soon there'll be green grass, and I'll find out what the dogs did in the backyard.
Very true. Speaking of what the dogs did in the backyard, the Oilers kind of did that on the ice last night.
That's a very good way of putting it. I have to say that I was. I think most observers would have expected more. I don't think they didn't play a very smart game. They didn't play. They you know what? They look a little like disconnected, and it's like the next game. I'm sure they'll play much better, but they're not consistent. And I'm not saying anything that people don't know. But if we remember the first 2 years under Coach Chris Knobloch, this team was a lot tighter after the deadline. And they were figuring things out, and everybody was a little more responsible. And maybe it's the Leon injury, or maybe it's just so much hockey that they played in the last 3 years, but they just don't look like the team that's, getting ready to roar here in the postseason.
No, well, they do for 2 games, and then they don't, right? That, to me, is the one difference. Like, you look at, last week, Vegas, Colorado, you're like, okay, Edmonton's coming around. And then Dallas, not just stubbing their toe. Like, that's the thing. When they have an off night, it's not even close. That's the problem, right? And last night, where they weren't close was their execution and decision-making around the net was horrific. How many times they didn't want to shoot, they tried to overpass it, and it was brutal, right? And it continued the whole game. It wasn't like someone said, okay, guys, enough with the passy pass, pass. Let's try shooting. They just never really got to it.
Yeah, and they're it's funny because if you look at the numbers, the top line and the top pairing were doing good work when they were together, Bouchard, Ekholm, and then the McDavid line. But they weren't scoring goals, which is the thing that they're not, like Hyman's a great scorer. Savoy's, coming along, and McDavid he's Connor McDavid. But they weren't. It was almost like there was a little glitch, like a hitch in the giddy up, and maybe they were just oversight for it, but it sure didn't look like it. It looked like they were off of their game by quite a bit, and if I didn't know them better, I would call them a little bit indifferent, and that's unforgivable against Florida, who basically have, taken the things that every Edmonton Oilers fan and player want so badly, and they've taken it away from them in the last two finals. So I was surprised by the game. Really, after the first few minutes, I was very surprised by the Oilers' performance.
Bad timing for Trent Frederic's game. He probably playing the best game as an order. He's out, or best games, I should say. He's out, and no timeline yet. So Robbie Yarventia will be getting his orders debut tomorrow night. Al, what are you expecting?
Well, he's a little bit of a utility guy, and that he can play either wing and he can play a little center. He's a big guy, 6'3", 210 maybe. He plays a rambunctious game. He's got, like, when they first acquired him, I read that he was a good playmaker, but he can also shoot the puck. So the last, say, month or so, based on what I saw and then based on what I've seen from other people like Bruce Kurlock, who report closely on it, he's been along with James Hamblin and maybe a couple of other AHL forwards like Seth Griffith, he's been among the best players down there. So, look, the AHL call-ups here, Szymanski's doing a hell of a job. I don't know what to expect from Yarventie, but I will say this: I'm looking forward to it, because these young kids, they're not 20, they're not, except Plattenberg, but they're maybe 23, 24 years old. They've got a little bit of experience, and they're pushing, man. Like, they come up and they play well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's obviously played in the NHL before, but that was a while back. He's got his health back, and I think he'll be noticeable in a good way. For the Oilers. I don't know how much he'll play, obviously, but I think he'll be noticeable in a good way.
Okay. Ty Emberson coming back, and I know he's a number 6 defenseman, but man, I think they miss him. That third pairing's been getting crushed.
Yeah, I was watching the Dallas game. Was it that was the Duchesne move? That was it. Duchesne made him look like an absolute rookie, and I'll tell you, Wallman didn't look much better.
No.
And I'm watching that play, and I'm like, man, this is brutal. And so, look, he's a young player. Stastny's a young player. He needs to, maybe watch from the top, and maybe he's, going to play sparingly during the postseason. But Emberson has come on. You and I've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Where Emberson was a year ago to where he was when he got hurt is miles of difference. And so they need him for sure. And I think that, he will help them in a big way. They need the help on the blue line, and I think he'll help them. And he's become more a part of this team, a bigger part of this team in real time this year. Like, even say from Christmas to now, I think he's really impressed.
Yeah, I like, honestly, I like a lot about his game. He's physical. Like, he's got a clear dimension to his game. He's going to block shots. He's going to be physical, and he's an okay puck mover. Like, I thought Stastny was supposed to move the puck better, Al. I have not liked his puck moving skills at all. Like, his decisions with the puck have not been good. Like, I haven't liked a ton about his game since coming over.
Yeah, I think he started okay, just okay, and now I think he looks like a deer in the headlights. And playing defense in the NHL is tough. I mean, it really is. So he'll maybe need a reset. This is a tough, situation to be in, and because of the cap, they're running a spare group on defense. But I think that if the coach had his druthers, he would have been sitting for a time now. Emberson being healthy enough, they can bring him in and then run with a more veteran group. But it's tough when you come to the deadline and you make a move, and they did get a really good defenseman at the deadline, but injuries hit, and you're going to have to play sometimes with players who maybe are not on your A or B list, and that's the name of the game. I don't know where he would land Stastny next in the fall, but they've got some other guys pushing, so it'll be interesting to see where he lands in training camp. I suspect there'll be a little bit of movement on defense over the summer too.
Yes, Al Mitchell joins us. Ingram probably going to go again, so Jari will get one of those 2 road games.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I know that there's been a lot of talk and controversy about Jari and what how he feels, or I know somebody sent a video out about during the pregame skate he looked indifferent. I remember one time watching Jaromir Jagr come out for pregame skate. He went around, went to center ice, skated over the logo, and went back. So I don't think that tells you much, because he had a hell of a hockey game once they started playing. But I think Jari's a professional. He needs to reset. He really does. I don't blame the Oilers for starting Ingram a bunch in a row. And the idea is that, I think a lot of the goaltending is mental, and he's got to just be mentally tougher. And I think a road start is good for Jari, and they need him. So he's got to get it together. But I think that he earned this time off because they really couldn't count on him, and they needed to.
Al, have yourself a great night. Quickly, Kucherov, McDavid tomorrow night. How concerned are you? This Tampa team had a little bit of a glitch here, but they've come back. They spanked Seattle. They spanked Vancouver, outscoring them 6-2 in each game. Kucherov's got 95 points in his last 45 games. Al, the Oilers better be on their toes tomorrow night, and they get lit up.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really great team. This team could win the Stanley Cup. And the only thing I'll say is the Oilers often, not all the time, but often really get up for a truly good team like this one. And I think that hopefully with Emerson coming back into the lineup, they can, they got to score. You can't win if you don't score. But I think that Tampa Bay will be another good test, and I hope they're up for it. It would be nice if they rewarded the home town crowd with a really good effort after what we just saw last night.
Yes, that would be nice. Al, have yourself a great day.
All right. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, host of The Lowdown. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Wrap things up on a busy week, busy Friday here on Sports 1440. Man, the text message, hot today. We'll get some of those as well on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
It's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
For 50 years, the Selby Group has been building trusted homes and strong communities. This year, we're celebrating that milestone with special events and anniversary promotions you won't want to miss. Discover Hillshire by Selby Group, beautifully designed homes in a community built for the way you live today. And coming this spring, move-in ready spec homes will be available. Your new home is waiting. Celebrate 50 years of Selby Group at Hillshire. Visit selvygroup.com or stop by Hillshire today.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful I-Force engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.99% APR with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Step up to the plate with confidence this season with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your trusted experts in baseball. From the diamond to the dugout, get the latest from top brands like Mizuno, Victus, Marucci, Rawlings, and Easton. Suit up with new cleats, helmets, pants, and don't forget the gloves, because champions know that every catch counts and every play matters. At St. Albert's Source for Sports, they know the game and they have the gear to prove it. St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for baseball gear over 35 years.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. Welcome back. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, wrapping things up on a busy week. Busy Friday. Of course, NCAA, March Madness, round 1 tonight. Then you'll get into the round of 32 tomorrow. We'll know by Monday who's in on the Sweet 16. Good luck on your brackets. Hopefully you beat Eddie, Declan, Brandon, Connor, the rest of the boys. Mac as well, who's in that pool. And good luck. Good luck. Let's get to Cam Tate now. And the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy, but he's never let him slow him down. Cam's always wanted to be on radio. Now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. On Fridays, Tater gives me the honor of reading his words. So here is Cam Tate. I'm not talking about the Edmonton Oilers. Nope, not a word about their ability to collapse faster than a dollar store lawn chair. Not a peep about their lack of guts, fire, or even a faint desire to slay the dragon that is the Florida Panthers. You know, the team that beat them in not 1, but 2 Stanley Cup finals. Why? Because my mom always said, if you can't say anything nice, zip it. So zipped it is. Tether than my jeans after Christmas dinner. But seriously, who's Bob? No, sorry, Bob, but we've all said it. But who has anyone actually met Bob? Is he the guy who invented small talk at elevator? Or maybe he's a genius who decided to put raisins in cookies. Either way, Bob's got some explaining to do. Anyway, let's talk about basketball. The other day, while I was in the Sports 1440 studio, admiring my navel, which, by the way, is a solid 8 out of 10 navel, the conversation turned to March Madness. People were swapping stories about NCAA games they'd been to. I've been to one, but I did have a brush with the Final Four, sort of. Back in 1985, the Alberta Northern Lights wheelchair basketball team made it to the Final Four in North America, Lexington, Kentucky. I went as a reporter for the Edmonton Journal. My dad tagged along, except he didn't come to a single practice, not one. Stayed at the hotel, I thought. Weird. Flex, but okay. Fast forward 5 days after we got back. The newsroom secretary storms over to my desk, holding the hotel bill that's radioactive. Cam, she says, we'll cover air for our hotel's meal, even a drink or two, but we don't pay for adult movies. Good on you, Dad. 2-minute warning, Cam Tate. Sports 1440. Oh, my God. I didn't, it got me, Cons. I was not expecting that ending from Cam Tate. Yeah, it's a tough one. I guess that's what you do on the road, eh? Well, that's the story. Hey, whatever happens on the road usually beats you home. There you go. There you go. Let's finish. We got a few more Chuck Norrises coming in today. And lots on the Oilers. Guys, I thought the Oilers played scared. They're mentally wimpy. Buffalo figured it out. Tampa's playing tougher. Oilers don't have that factor. In large parts, the coach and GM not building mental strength into a team. See, that's where I'll disagree. Buffalo, Rasmus Dahlin said, you know what? We're not going to do it. The players had a meeting. They did it. I don't understand. You know who I'm going to say soft? There's a lot of texters who are soft on the players. Y'all want to blame the coach. You want to blame. You never want to say the players got to fight their own battles. It's like asking when the kid gets schooled a bully, oh, can you have your mom or dad please come and talk to the teacher for me? Eventually, kid's got to stand up for himself or herself. And the Edmonton Oilers team on the ice needs to do it. Okay? You can't have coach, oh, you know what? We're going to bring in more guys. No. At some point, you stand up for yourself. It's just how it is, right? You can't look at others and always say, oh, you know what? The answer's somewhere else. Yeah, Tampa Bay brought in Douglas for a while, but guess what? They put him on waivers. He's not there. But Kucherov's still there. Hedman's still there. Point is still there, etc. And if you want, and the thing is, Tampa Bay, they were the bully to Buffalo. Buffalo responded. Tampa Bay's players, their star guys, their core guys are the ones that said, enough's enough. Right? Enough's enough. It's up to the Oilers. Hey, guys, it's amazing. A fan says Buffalo figured it out, but haven't been in the playoffs in 14 years. Oilers back-to-back finals. The typical, what have you done for me lately from Andrew? Well, Andrew, I think we're talking about a different thing. He didn't say Buffalo's figured out how to win. Buffalo figured out that eventually you got to stand up for yourself. That's all it is. And for the Oilers, their kryptonite is Florida. Now, the good news is Florida's not in the playoffs this year. So maybe the Oilers can win because Oilers have shown they could beat Dallas. All right, now, we'll see that Colorado beat them in 22, but that was a very different Colorado team. That team was loaded. And, you know, the Oilers were a little bit banged up, but I don't think they were the team that they are now in 2022. So Edmonton, here's the thing. Edmonton last night is just, yeah, the pushback, okay, wasn't there. But for me, it's the fact that all season long, they haven't figured out how to win 3 games in a row other than one time. And that's not 3 in a row. It's about the consistent effort to do it. Look at last week. Great games in Vegas. Great games in Colorado. Stinker in Dallas. And look at this week. 2 good games at home. Stinker last night. And it's not like Florida's a dominant team this year. They're not. They didn't have Barkov or Reinhart. Right? They're about on par with Nashville or San Jose. But Florida, they have nothing to play for this year. They're playing for pride. But last night was a game where it's easy to get motivated because it's Edmonton. And you knew they loved just adding to the pain of the Oilers. They love it. They thrive on it. And the Oilers could not match it. Right? Could not match it. So, hey, Gregor, I think Knobloch's answer last night was proof that the room is fragile. He was evasive and non-accusatory. They were bad. They should wear it and just take the Lightning to task physically. The Dallas game showed me they have some snot, just not always, from Soggy Corpse. Hey, guys, it's increasingly frustrating to Knobloch always continues to put McDavid on the ice in the toughest matchups against the other team's best players when we're sold on the fact that Dickinson should be playing those minutes. Free McDavid up to play some of the second and third line minutes, especially at home, from Josh. Josh, it's a valid point. Now, the top line last night created a lot because Florida didn't have a real, it wasn't like the Tkachuk line was the line that beat the Oilers. It was who's ever on with Michael Benning in the first period, right? That's who it was, right? It was Reinhart, fourth liner, and then Greer, third liner. They scored their first 2 goals. Then it was a power play goal on kind of a lucky bounce. And it was goodnight, Irene. But I do agree with you. At times, you should look to say, hey, I'm going to trust Dickinson here. Just a thought. You could look at it. Now, when Draisaitl comes in, it changes. You can put Nuge back, and Nuge and Dickinson, I think the coach feels like that's a better third line than, like you're asking a lot from a rookie in Szymanski. And I think Szymanski's been okay. I've been watching him close, doesn't make a lot of plays. Eventually, you can be on the ice. And the good, as long as he's not getting outscored, then I guess I'm okay with it. Because then he's a minute muncher who's not getting outscored. And that can be a positive. But you do eventually, I think, have to have a little bit of a, like that was the concern for me with Janmark. At the end, Janmark became a player that there was no threat offensively. So no one's never going to give up any goals against, right? Everybody always gives up goals against, right? There's no player I know in the world is like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm never getting scored on, right? Well, that's not the case. So, you've got to eventually, find a way. And Szymanski, to his credit, he's outscoring the opposition, right? It doesn't give up shots. So right now, he's outscoring the opposition. That's all that matters, and that's a big win. So keep playing with Dickinson. No problem. You got Tampa Bay. I get you want to do the McDavid matchup on Kucherov, but why not? Dickinson wants that matchup sometimes. So you got to give him some of those minutes. That's what I would think anyway. You got to give him some of those minutes. So, hey boys, if the Oilers need the head coach to motivate him, there's something wrong. Where's the leadership group? It's not on the coach. Morgan, 1,000% agree. I think it's too much of an easy cop-out sometimes if you just want to say that coach's job is to motivate the whole team. There are certain times, yes, but Tkachuk said it himself. This is an easy game to get up for. So he's got to do it. Everybody, have yourselves a great weekend. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Don't be inebriated. Get home safe. Be smart. Enjoy the games. And we'll talk to you on Monday on behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Kenzie, and the whole Sports 1440 team. Have a great weekend. Here's a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. If you're looking for a vehicle, it's springtime. You might need a new ride. GoAuto.ca. 15,000 vehicles to choose from. They'll have the one that's for you. Find your next ride at GoAuto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice in the NHL after 20 minutes. Leafs up on the Canes 1-0. Devils trail the Caps 1-0. Later tonight, got the Avs and the Blackhawks from Chicago. The Flames host the Panthers and the Ducks, taking on the Mammoth in the Association. Raptors in Denver to take on the Nuggets just after 7. It's early, but right now, Pistons up on the Warriors 14-9, and the Nets lead the Knicks 9-7. Later tonight, Hawks in Houston, Grizz taking on the Celtics and the Trailblazers in Minnesota. March Madness Day 2 right now. St. John leading Northern Iowa 24-20. Clemson up on Iowa 32-25, and UCLA has a 22-12 lead over UCF earlier today. Teams advancing: Iowa State, Alabama, Tennessee, Utah State, Arizona, Virginia, Texas Tech, and Kentucky. In the WHL, Oil Kings on the road in Lethbridge. Puck drop just after 7. BCHL has the Saints heading to Salmon Arm, while the Crusaders are in Trail at 8. And in the AJ playoffs kicking off tonight, Calgary in Canmore. Storm hosting the Bobcats. Camrose takes on Drumheller, and Whitefort welcomes Fort Mac to town. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Hoot City. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yes, it's Sports 1440.